friends and you're like, you just accept that.
Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, February 4th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $, ORION, NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We have NXT Vengeance Day 2023. We're going to be live here in about 15 minutes. And I'm looking at the card right now, and it actually doesn't look too bad. I'll be honest. I try to watch Raw, SmackDown, and NXT equally, and I definitely have not been keeping up with NXT as much as I should. There has been times where it's been good. There's been times where it's been unwatchable, in my opinion. When it was the black and gold brand with Adam Cole, Bay, and the Undisputed Era, I think that's when NXT was at its peak, but we still have good matches on the slate, and I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll try to do the Senior Bowl, but I ended up waking up a little late. Obviously, people were over last night, and me and Paisley, it took us a little bit longer to get to sleep and whatnot. But I ended up, waking up, got the laundry done, got the dishes done, took Paisley on her hour walk before the rain came, and decided, I was looking at the Twitter feed, and I was like, there's got to be something tonight better than the obviously the East-West Shrine Bowl that was before yesterday, and then the Senior Bowl. And obviously we saw the Senior Bowl. It wasn't very high scoring. So it was either going to be this or the Blazers and the Bulls. And I know I could have got a decent amount of views with the Blazers and Bulls, but I figured that matchup is just a regular game. And anytime you have a WWE or NXT pay-per-view, it should be better than a normal basketball game, unless it's like that Clippers and Bucks game that I did a couple days ago. That one was a smart decision to do. We actually got pretty good results on it, through Twitter and whatnot. I know there's an NBA crowd, but I can only really do it based off the matchups. So let's go over some of the matchups that we have. Candace in the building, Sarah in the building. Let's get to 100 and donos, and let's hang out for the next couple hours. There really is nothing else going on. There's a few basketball games. Obviously they had the NHL All-Star game, which they barely even promoted. They have these like skills competition for the NFL and NHL, and I swear they're not marketing it at all. It's like, I get it that the Pro Bowl sucks, but you can at least let us know when it's on, whether we decide to watch it or not. So kind of weird, based on the timing of everything, but I am blessed and happy that we do have this pay-per-view, even if I haven't been following NXT as much as maybe I should. But maybe after what I watched today, it'll get me a little bit more interested. But as we know with Mandy Rose, and that whole situation, they had to find someone else to take over. I really do like Roxanne Perez, but I think it would have been so much better if you were able to have Mandy still there. And who knows? Obviously when she wants to do pictures and video, kind of like an OnlyFans spinoff, that she's using. Obviously she's making plenty of money there, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see Mandy Rose again sometime. Like I said, she's kind of too much of a name and a draw where you can keep her out of the limelight. People obviously know she's very pretty and she makes a lot of money but she doesn't have to really do that. Again, what's your passion? Having people like thirst over you, thirst trap pictures and videos, or do you love wrestling? You know what I mean? And I think she does love wrestling, and she just made the wrong decision. Maybe got a little bit of, greed, wanted to be able to make as much money as possible, which I totally understand. But, if there's rules and regulations involved, you got to be able to do it. But we also saw that with Selena Vega as well, with doing like the gaming and the cosplay. They definitely want to control, what the image is of the females. But obviously we know sex sells, and the females obviously are made to look sexy for wrestling, right? So obviously you're getting the eyes, not only from the guys, but from the females as well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You say you want the ladies to be sexy, you want them to be able to promote your brand, but they want to do their own thing, and they're like, no. So, we'll see what happens. And we did end up seeing Zelina Vega back in wrestling, which is awesome. She may not be the most talented wrestler, but it's just another person, that has passion for what they love to do. Let's go over some of the card here, and I'm kind of interested. So main event is going to be Braun Breaker. And obviously, if you're familiar with Braun Breaker, obviously with Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, he's part of the Steiner family. Obviously, he's not going to be called Braun Steiner. They had to do something a little bit more catchy. And then you got Grayson Waller, who's going to be the guy that's trying to do the unthinkable, right? And we're going to get an NXT Championship cage match. So that should be pretty interesting. This might end up being one of the best matches of the night. Then you got journeyman Apollo Crews, who's been on Raw, who's been on SmackDown, has found himself now on NXT, and sometimes that's what happens. They try to give a little depth to the roster, or they try to be able to get you a little bit. I don't really want to say it's a demotion because it is if you've already been on Raw and SmackDown, but sometimes it gives you a chance to kind of reinvent yourself and maybe prove that you can do it on this level. And if you can do it on this level and bring the other guys up, then maybe you'll be back on SmackDown or Raw once again in the future. But we got Apollo Crews and Carmelo Hayes, and this is going to be 2 out of 3 falls match. I think this one will be pretty good too. Both of these guys are pretty athletic. I haven't watched a lot of these guys, but I've watched enough where I think that it would be pretty decent. All right, and then we got this one. This one is interesting. So we got the New Day, right? Pretty Deadly, Gallus, and Chase U for the NXT Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way. So I am interested in this. The more people in the ring should be exciting, so that will be good, right? Ones that I'm not too sure about, but I'm interested. We got Wesley and Dijak NXT North American Championship match. Don't know a lot about these two guys, honestly, so I'm interested to see what they bring to the table. And then here we got Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Fallon Henley, and Kiana James. And we have this match here, obviously all going for the championship, baby, and getting that recognition. And then last but not least, right, we got Roxanne Perez, the champ, obviously taking over for Mandy Rose after they ended up going one-on-one. And then you're going against JC Jane and Gigi Dolan of Toxic Attraction. So I like it that we don't have like 10 matches on the card, that they only have, I believe, 6. So it's going to give plenty of time to extend Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller. It's going to extend maybe Roxanne Perez, JC Jane, Gigi Dolan. Obviously, the New Day, Pretty Deadly, Gals Chase U. That could be extended. Carmelo Hayes and Apollo Crews is 2 out of 3. And then, with the Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Fallon Henley, and Kiana James, and the Wesley, and the Dijak. I'm not really sure what we're going to be getting from. If we get anything, let's see. This should be good. I would assume this should be pretty entertaining. I know this one will be good. If we get anything out of this match and this match, then it'll be a complete pay-per-view. But if you have 4 out of the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a pretty solid 7 or 8, just depending on the matches themselves. But if we can get one of these last 2 to hit, then maybe this pay-per-view will be like an 8 or a 9. Otherwise, it'll probably be like a 7 or an 8. So I'm really hoping for one of those last 2, to really show out. But even if they don't, 4 good matches can still, give you a solid 8 in the pay-per-view category. So Dijakovic. Okay, that's what I was going to say. I thought that was him, but I figured someone would bring that up. And I am a fan of him when he went against Keith Lee. So, okay, that makes sense because I was going to ask you. I didn't want to sound like an idiot, but, I haven't been watching NXT as much as I probably should have. And Dijakovic versus Keith Lee, I saw them front row at NXT TakeOver Portland a couple years ago, pretty much the last pay-per-view before COVID hit. So awesome. Okay, so that gives me a little bit more comfortability with what it is. I don't really know his chemistry with Wesley, but he looks like he's pretty athletic. And I think I've seen him wrestle a couple matches. So if he's the guy that I think he is, and from the matches that I've seen, I think that he'll be able to hold his own. And obviously he's the champ there. And then this one might be the sleeper where this could be good. It could be bad. But I'm ready. At least we have something to do. And then I got to, let's see here. I'm going to make sure I watch the Blazer game as well. I'm going to do a 2-for-1 here. WEXT World Tag Team Champions. Tell them. Because let them know. All right, I got to get the Blazers and the Bulls on here. And I think it was a good decision. I didn't mean to sleep in as late as I did. Me and Paisley, we didn't really get to sleep until, I don't even know what time, 5, 6. I was watching some TV, watching some cartoons, and there was this people coming in, people coming out, doors closing. It's like I can't go to sleep when people, I can have the door closed and whatnot. And if you confine Paisley without her being able to walk in the house, or if you block off certain things or close doors, she's just going to whine and not be happy. So once people left, then we were able to get a little bit of sleep. But I was planning on doing the Senior Bowl, but it looks like I didn't really miss a whole lot. I still ended up watching, I would say 3/4 of it. And it was kind of boring, to be honest, a little disappointing. It wasn't as bad as the East-West Shrine game, but I definitely was like, when I turned it on, I think it was like 6-3. And then once we got it a little bit over halftime, I think it was like 14-3, 14-6, but definitely not enough scoring. I mean, there was guys like Max Duggan that were out there, TCU's quarterback and a few others, but it wouldn't have been worth it to wake up that early. We might have been able to get some views. I imagine the donos would have been very sparse and few between, because how many people are going to be up that early? And even people like me that normally are up that early, I didn't even wake up early enough to end up doing it. So, but this should be good. I'm glad. So I got the Blazer game on the computer here. We got Blazers Bulls, so I'll be able to update on that, and hopefully Dame Dolla can make some magic out there today. I know the Bulls aren't necessarily the best team in the East, but you can't really take anyone for granted in the NBA. I think we know that. And I'm ready for this pay-per-view. So let's get ready. Let's get settled in. Candace in the building. How are you? I missed you too. Sarah in the building. How are you? Let's get to 100 and donos. Carmelo got a little swag, huh? Yeah, you kind of remember, different teams' private party and AEW and who wants the smoke with Montez Ford and company. There's certain groups that you feel that have a little bit of that swagger and whatnot. And yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yes, the Carmelo Hayes should be very, very interesting. And it will be interesting moving forward if they decide to branch some of these guys together. We've seen some of these factions kind of come together in the last couple of years, NXT, SmackDown, as well as Raw. And there's a lot of pieces where they could add, a solid piece, a couple of these brothers with swag with some other brothers that are already up on the Raw and SmackDown roster. You never know when, you might end up having a faction start to form. I would like to see Montez Ford and Bianca Belair all come together as a faction, including her with the female side. I think that would be very cool. Probably not something they're thinking about right now, because she's obviously the champ, with her and Charlotte, Flair doing their singles reign. But you could still have her as women's champion and be a part of, obviously, who wants the smoke. So, with Montez Ford, her husband and whatnot, and her guys. So let's take a quick peek at some of the matches that we got here as well. So if you're not really familiar with the card, and trust me, everyone is pretty much following SmackDown, Raw, Dynamite, a little bit of Rampage, but not so much of NXT unless you're a diehard and you just never given up on the brand. But as for me, if the brand isn't very good, we have to call it out. And NXT and Rampage have not really lived up to their names in a while. But I will say the last Rampage that I watched with the Elite, obviously battling out there, anytime you get Nick and Matt Jackson and Kenny Omega on Rampage, then you know that instead of it being like a 5, it'll probably be at least a 6 or 7, because they had one of the 3 matches that were on that night, or 4, and it was probably a 10. And that is big facts. But we got Braun Breaker. If you're familiar with Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, he is part of the Steiner family, and he is going against Grayson Waller on the right. Then we got Apollo Crews and Carmelo Hayes, 2 out of 3 falls match. Then we have New Day, Pretty Deadly Gallus, and Chase U. This should be good. NXT Tag Team Championship, fatal 4-way match. Then we have Roxanne Perez taking over for Mandy Rose, and we're having her against JC Jane and Gigi Dolan of Toxic Attraction. Wes Lee versus Dijakovic, or Dijak, I guess is what they're calling him now. And then we have, last but not least, Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Fallon Henley, and Kiana James. So 6 matches. So I like it. We don't have 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, I mean, as far as the card is this something that a lot of wrestling fans could skip? Yeah, let's not lie and act like this is like 100% must-see TV. But when it's a Saturday night, right? We've already had Royal Rumble, right? There's nothing really football-wise on. It's either this or the NBA. And if you are a wrestling fan, even if NXT hasn't been the greatest, you can at least watch NXT takeovers and NXT Vengeance and the NXT pay-per-views. Because I'll be honest, if you go back and watch some of the old NXT takeovers, some of those pay-per-views back in the day when we had like Adam Cole coming up in the ranks and Shinsuke Nakamura and some of those other guys, they had some of the best pay-per-views that even matched up with SummerSlam and WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, Survivor Series. I remember watching some of those NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, NXT TakeOver Toronto, where the crowds were so into the matches that it got you juiced. And then obviously the roster was a little bit better back then as well. And then we've seen some of these guys turn into superstars on the next level too. So no, I didn't party. No. Obviously girlfriend had a few people over. They went to go see a movie and then they were just, drinking and whatnot. But yeah, I took it easy. Me and Paisley were just chilling in the bedroom. I didn't, because I knew if I ended up partying, then I probably wouldn't even be able to do this today. Maybe I would be too hungover or whatnot. So, I just tried to make sure that I woke up early, took care of Paisley, took care of the chores at the house, took her for a walk. And then now we're here. So at least we get to do this. And then we got NASCAR tomorrow. So super excited. Mike, my boy, how are you? 1 day away from NASCAR, man. Oh, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. You went camping. Oh, that sounds like fun. I love me some camping. I don't go too often. Once a year is usually what I do, once or twice a year, but I absolutely love it. Detroit Lake, we have a lot of nice places where, if you have a boat or access to a boat and you can get out there and have some fun, just campfire, and even if you're not a big drinker or, anything like that, that's a place where you can kind of get a little faded and you don't really have to worry because you don't really got to go anywhere. You go in the tent, you go down to the lake, you go down to the campfire. I mean, you're not going to really, everyone, well, there are going to be people that obviously need to be talked to at camping sites, but usually when I go to spots, they have like the Rangers come by. So they'll pretty much be like, shut the fuck up if you're too loud. Oh, Charlotte Flair coming out in this little promo. Mike, we missed you, man. Odin's son in the building. How are you? Michael in the building. How are you? So, yeah, I'm kind of glad that this was on because I had no idea this was on today until I woke up early this morning and I saw one post and I was like, is this today? And I was like, okay, well, I did want to do the Senior Bowl. That sucked, like the East-West Shrine game. It wasn't worth doing. I would have been pissed waking up at fucking like 10, 11 o'clock, only off like 3-4 hours of sleep. I mean, regardless if the views and the donos were down, you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. But if I would have woke up that early, and regardless if the views and the donos were a little lower than expected, it was just that type of matchup. I was like, man, I woke up this early for like a 6-3, 12-3, 14-6 kind of game. And I don't know what the final score was. I imagine, Sarah, you can look that up if you know what the final score was. But last time I checked, I think it was like 14-6 in like the third quarter, and I turned it off. And then I went to go take Paisley for like an hour walk and whatnot. So, but I hope everyone is having a great day. Like I said, we've had some challenging streams in the last few. Shep has come through on one of the last 3 to help us get to a good number. And we got some good things coming up. We got this, okay? And we're going to be locked in here for the next 3 to 4 hours. And then tomorrow is the big boy. Tomorrow is the big boy. Tomorrow is the first day of the NASCAR season taking off. Busch Light. Busch Light. Everyone's favorite beer, Busch Light, said no one ever. Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. Not Clash at the Castle when we did the WWE pay-per-view, like in Wales. But it's, obviously where USC plays football, they're going to convert that into a short track. Really weird because whenever I see it, I look in the stands and I figure I should see USC Trojan fans out there, and it's just that little short track. Daytona 500 in like 2 weeks. After the Super Bowl, they took a week off, smart, because if you did the Daytona 500 on the same time as the Super Bowl, you're not going to get ratings because there are a lot of football fans that are NASCAR fans and vice versa, right? So they have that, cemented in where we're going to get this, obviously NASCAR race tomorrow, Clash at obviously Coliseum, take a week off, then we're going to end up having Daytona 500, and then obviously we have Super Bowl next weekend. So bang, 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 NASCAR, Super Bowl, Daytona 500. I mean, that sounds good to me. And then we're going to take off, and then sooner but later, then we'll be into baseball too, and everything will be normal and content in my life. But this definitely looks like a pretty good pay-per-view. So we're going to watch the whole pay-per-view. Anyone that wants to comment on anything that's going on, wrestling related, NXT, WWE, AEW, go right ahead. Anything you want me to stay on top of, NBA wise, NFL wise, any breaking news, on anything sport related, please do. But for the next 3 to 4 hours, we're going to hang out here and we're going to end up watching hopefully some good wrestling. That's big facts. And if you're just hopping into the room, these are the matchups that we have today. And I'll be honest, I am a very, very serious hardcore wrestling fan that I haven't stopped watching since 1985. I'm 40. So I've been pretty much, this has been about 37 years of my life. And, there has been a point where NXT has been unwatchable. Let's be honest. If you have been keeping up, it's not the same as the black and yellow brand where we had Adam Cole Bebe and Undisputed Era. It's not when NXT, was the best, even better than SmackDown and Raw. And that's when, Vince was running it. But now with Triple H, this is the last piece they need to get up to par. And the roster isn't really as good as it could be. Yeah, you got a lot of the top tier talent on Raw and SmackDown. And I know, Sarah, you're like, well, Braun needs to move up. But the thing is, they can't really necessarily move up, I think, with Braun yet. Who else do they have? If Braun leaves, who the hell is going to watch NXT for Grayson Waller? New Day is brought down to help people watch. Roxanne Perez is watchable, and you got these Carmelo Hayes and Wesley, and you got some of these other guys, but I don't think any of these guys are big enough stars besides Braun Breaker really to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but we'll see. But we're starting off with the first match here. We're starting off with Wesley and Dijakovic. Let's go. So this will be starting it off, and then we also have Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Fallon Henley, and Kiana James. This one might be good, might be bad. We don't know. Roxanne Perez taking over for Mandy Rose, going against Toxic Attraction, right? JC Jane and Gigi Dolan. That one hopefully will be good. This one should be good. New Day, Pretty Deadly Gallus, and Chase U. NXT Tag Team Championship, Fatal 4-Way match. Anytime the New Day's in a match, it's good. Let's be honest, okay? Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes, 2 out of 3 falls match. And then obviously Braun Breaker, Grayson Waller, NXT Championship cage match. Let's go. Let's go, baby. And I got a nice little NXT graphic there in the corner that I did for you guys too. I was like, I got to make sure I find something that's like the belt that I like. And it's hard for me to find logos that I can put in the corner besides, my normal NWSF. I have to find the right size, the right look of like those, NBA ones, the NFL ones. But this one I really like. And it took me about 15 options. And I saw that one and I was like, ooh, perfect. And it's the belt too. So obviously that's clean. Okay, Dijak. Why did they change his name to Dijak? Can't you keep his name Dijakovic? It's too hard for them to say. It's like, it's too foreign. We need to cut it down to Dijak because we're too stupid. Is that what it is? Dijak. So like any fucking idiot can say the name. Come on. Keep his name authentic and real if that's what it is. I know if it's like a persona change, but that's the thing that annoys me to all hell in WWE, taking away their first name or changing their name. You just can't change a fucking group's name 3 times in like 3 years. And we're like, huh? Like Viking Raiders and all that. I mean, how many name changes have they went through? I don't know. They just need to be able to like have the name and stick with it. But I guess that's not how it works here. 27-10. Oh, okay. So it ended up being not as bad. At least someone scored in that game. But glad to see you, Mike, in the building. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you. It's been rough. Like I said, last couple months, I get it. A lot of people have been going through some hardships. They've been going through some ups and downs. But luckily, normally we'll have 6, 7, 8 goats. Maybe we're down to 1, 2, or 3, for now. But I know it'll work its way out, and we'll get more fans, and we'll get more people. The main thing is I just want to be able to keep doing my dream full time. It took me 10 years to get to this point, to be able to go full time. Now I'm on year 11, year 7 on YouTube. And it's like, I want to keep it moving, but if I have to get a secondary job, I mean, we'll see, but we're not at that point yet, but hopefully we'll be able to have an upward spike. And I think we will. I mean, we got NASCAR, we got baseball. I think that we should still be able to make things happen. We just gotta pray to the sports gods and, the wrestling gods, and I imagine good things will happen. I might not be able to give back as many gifts, and that kills me inside, because I love being able to give back gifts to the people that donate heavy to me. But when it comes to the point where I need to pay my rent and bills, and I need to make sure that gets done, of course, I'd love to be able to give shirts and tickets and jerseys. But if I'm not getting enough on my end to even take care of me, it's going to be tough to take care of everyone else. So I'm going to still do what I can to take care of people, but we definitely have to have like kind of an upward spike, and I think we will. So, Sarah, are you familiar with all? I mean, I know Dijakovic very well. I've watched him wrestle many, many matches, right? But as far as Wesley, Who would you compare Wesley? Have you seen Wesley wrestle a lot? Do you watch NXT a lot or no? Are you like me that we don't watch it that much anymore? I mean, like I said, I'm a product of good wrestling and good storyline. So I feel even if it's NXT and it's developmental, that doesn't mean that it can't be the best or just as good as a SmackDown or close to it. But it's just the talent level is not the same. It's like probably the weakest NXT talent roster I think I've seen the brand has ever had. Besides like a Braun Breaker, you know what I mean? But one guy, it looks like he has potential to be maybe like Intercontinental champ one day or be like a name. They could even make Braun Breaker into a world champion one day. He's got the look. I could see that. But I'm not sure if you have a lot of those guys. So. Oh, shit. That was cool. Okay. Nice play. Nice play. That was a nice move. Getting up in there with a little off the ropes, her and Karana, throwing him into the ropes. Oh, he got caught. Ooh. There we go. Yeah, baby. Take that. Take that. It was really sad. I ended up watching a video on YouTube, and it was a death of wrestlers in the last 50 years. So it was like a 4-minute video of side scrolling of when they were born, when they died, and how they died. And to look at all these legends and men and women that I used to love watching perform, and just seeing the some of it is like heart attack and heart failure. Sometimes it's like hanging. Sometimes there was suicide. Sometimes pill stuff and it's overdose stuff and like that. But a lot of it was like medical condition. But you could tell mental health had a big part on some of those people too. Pretty sad. And just to see how many of my favorites are no longer living. And even I caught myself on a couple that I wasn't even familiar that they passed. Like I should have known that they died within the last 5 years, but it just slipped my brain and whatnot. But yeah, very, very sad. That's why I like to try to get as much wrestling as I can in. You never know, Might be watching one of your favorites, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, they're gone, kind of like Brody Lee. That was just crazy to me. Okay, yeah. I like him. He's really good because MSK could have ended up being one of the biggest tag teams that WWE had. They had the green and the black DX look, and then the teammate ended up doing some physical, altercation with his girlfriend, where he slapped her or pushed her or punched her, and then they fired him. Right? I'm pretty sure that's what I remember hearing. He did something with his girlfriend, wife, or whatever, and then they found out about it. She posted it or something. They did an investigation and then they let him go. But MSK had potential to be one of the coolest up and coming. I remember watching every one of their matches. I was like, I like the name. I like the colors, DX, and theme music. And I liked both of them. Okay, that makes sense now because he looked familiar, but now he's not wearing the same gear. And I haven't obviously been paying attention to NXT as much as I probably should. It's like the one federation or one organization that I do need to improve my knowledge in. Normally I have around an 8 or a 9 of knowledge in NXT, and I'm down to a 5, where I remember the stuff and I keep up a little, but some of the shows have been unwatchable. So, okay. I do like that MS, and we're not going to see that guy ever back. What's the other guy's name, Sarah? Not him, but the other guy that got fired. Oh, thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. Mike, $8 holla. Thank you, man. Every dollar counts. I appreciate you. Oh, my goodness. Hello, Booker T. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. $8 holla. 92 to go. Mike's ready for NASCAR, just like your boy. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $8 holla. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to see for photos. You want some Kyle Busch for tomorrow? Yeah, and I'll be ready to go. Like I said, I'll be ready, and I don't know. I know the race starts at 5, but we'll probably go live at 4:30, 4:45. Depending on, I'll probably be just juicing to It'll be like 9 a.m. and I'll be ready to go. But of course I can't start a stream that early when the race starts at fucking 5. So, but I'm excited. You know, it's like I said, I don't get too excited about too many things. Football, NFL, college football, definitely. Wrestling, definitely. But now it's NASCAR and the Mariners. I mean, and obviously the Dodgers. Shout out to the Dodger organization for retiring Fernando Valenzuela's number. They're going to do it in the summertime, and I'm a big fan. A lot of my friends that are Dodger fans and my dad were, Fernando Mania. It was a big time. Very cool. Long overdue too. And he's still alive, so it's very cool. I saw a photo of him. I was like, you want to make sure you don't wait for the guy to die. And they're like, oh, thanks, Fernando. Fucking A, do it while he's alive and show him some love. I mean, he was a big reason why the Dodgers were successful at that time period too. And really big for the Latinos and the Latinas and the Mexican Americans, and just, to make sure they had someone they could connect to. Not only were they there in the major leagues, but they were dominant and they did really well. And World Series champion. You can't beat that. Fernando Mania. 2. Dijak. Nash Carter. There it is. Nash Carter. I should have known with a guy with 2 last names, something was up. I guess Carter could be a first name too. Well, actually, those could possibly be 2 first names and 2 last names. I mean, I love me some Kevin Nash, so. And then I think Nick Carter instead of Vince Carter. What the hell's wrong with me, right? I should be thinking Vince Carter before Nick, but probably just what I saw with his brother and, all the stuff recently with them in the news. All right, so I got Blazers, I got Bulls. Okay, we got that going here. Knotted up at 5. Let's go, Blazers. Ooh, Dijak got him at the top. Oh, Dijakovic. I'll say it. They're like, we can't pay the announcers enough to get the pronunciation right. Too many syllables, too many letters. Dijakovic, way too hard. Dijak. Oh, baby! High risk maneuver outside of the ring. Let's go. And who really suffers the most right now is him, because you got to think, they could have ended up being maybe like tag team champions, Wesley, and then the group, the MJK. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. MSK. Oh! Yeah, he's got athleticism. What could have been? That tag team could have been really special. Oh, yeah, baby. 1, 2. 2. Okay. Odin's son in the building. What to do? Oh, do they have a new album out? Oh, this is a good match. Of course, you want to make sure that this is, either one of the best matches or second best. But remember, I was thinking maybe this could be like one of the wild card matches. So if we get 5 out of 6, this is going to be a solid 8 or 9 pay-per-view. Like I said, the quality of each match will raise the pay-per-view to a 9 or a 10. We're probably not going to get a 10. The only way we get a 10 is that if every match is slays. And the chances of that happening is pretty slim. But 4 out of 5 or 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, definitely possible. I mean, you only have 6 matches, not 10. So I like that. Oh, don't slip. Oh, he slipped. Oh, shit. 1, 2. 2. Okay. Good match so far. Yeah, I love Metallica too. Big fan. I mean, some people like Metallica, some people like Guns N' Roses, some people are, one or the other, or, kind of around that same time period and whatnot. But I feel like a lot of music that we hear now is nowhere near what some of the legendary stuff was from like the 80s and 90s. You can go even further back, but pleasantly surprised, and I think this was the right choice. Like I was thinking, hey, Yeah, Senior Bowl could be good, but the Senior Bowl had to be on later. But then if I would have found out that if it was a Senior Bowl or this, we would have done this. I was like, anything that's a wrestling pay-per-view, I'm going to do it. Especially if I don't have to pay $50 for it on like the AEW side. Like, it's like, I already paid for Peacock. I mean, what's the point of doing this? I guess doing the Blazer game, you know what I mean? But if I do the Blazer game, how many people are going to watch the game with me? Not very many, you know, unless you're a Bulls fan or a Blazer fan, or you just want to watch along. But with this will be, you know, you don't even have to be into wrestling to watch a wrestling pay-per-view. Okay, so far so good, man. I'm pleasantly surprised I needed this. Dijak. Oh, counter with a knee, with a roll up, two. And this doesn't look like on paper that this would be good because you got one guy that's small and athletic and another guy that's just big. You know, he's athletic and big, but he's just big. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily like the best pairing. You know what I mean? That means that Dijakovic has to really sell the moves more as a big guy. But he is an athletic big guy, so that's really what they have going for him. But normally when you see a match like this on paper, like back when Vince would maybe be booking, it would be a disaster because it just wouldn't flow well because you got one athletic guy and one guy that's just kind of a little bit too big to match up evenly for moves and to sell moves and whatnot. But these guys are doing a hell of a job. Two. He said, Slayer! They never changed. Big clothesline by Dijak. Two. I'm doing. This is the type of stuff that I need in my life. You know, sometimes when life is like slow or depressing, or you know, you feel like anxiety coming on, or depression, or you just start feeling sad because the weather's shitty. Whatever the case is, your friend ripped you off. You're fighting with people in your family or your friends. Sometimes we need fucking shit like this to lift us up a little bit. I know I fucking do. You know, I feel like I'm being tugged so many ways because I got to do so much cleaning and, I'm always having to fucking do so many things, not including this. Otherwise Paisley would not be getting taken care of properly, like just making sure that she's getting the exercise that she needs. But, sometimes you got to be able to put, things like, pets and people ahead of yourself. And that's facts. Oh, Dijakovic. He's ripping on the trunks. Dude, you're giving him a super wedge, dude. Giving him super wedgie. All right, here we go. Doing something crazy. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. So it was like a move into a counter, but he didn't really get all the way over. That was kind of stiff. He could have got fucked up there on his neck. Wow. Okay. This might be over. 1, 2. Oh. 1, 2. I was like, oh, it's got to be over. They tricked me. Tricked your boy. This guy's athleticism is killer. It's kind of like a Ricochet. Like if him and Ricochet became a team, that would be cool. You just got to find people that are similar to each other that could vibe off each other too. Of course you want to, have a singles career, but some people are just better as a tag. It's like I would watch Nick or Matt Jackson separately, no doubt. Oh, caught him midair, threw him into the barrier. Okay. I needed this in my life. I got NASCAR tomorrow, so I'm already like feeling really, really good. I was like, I just need baseball to come back and then I'll be perfect. But I can't really expect too much from Tampa or the Blazers or the Ducks. I kind of am realistic. I'm not going to think, oh, championship. I'm not stupid. I already know. But at least, wrestling is getting better. Mariners are going to be very, very soon. Get to watch my dad's Dodgers a little bit. Oh, big super kick. Good night. In the chair. Dijak. But NASCAR tomorrow. Oh, man. What is he doing here? Is he going to do a backflip? Dude, this motherfucker is crazy. Dijakovic. Look at this shit. Get the fuck out of here. Oh. And Dijakovic is a big guy. Like, you know, he could definitely fuck that up and like break his neck. And I mean, he's not like a guy that's like 5'8" or 5'10". He's a bigger dude. I have always been amazed by the taller wrestlers that do the high risk off the top. It's like, you know, it's like, imagine like seeing Kane or Undertaker do like a backflip. It's like unimaginable that they would even be able to get enough hang time to do it. So whenever I see someone that's like, you know, 6'6", 6'8", 6'9", 7 foot, I know. Shit is awesome. Nice opening match. And still, North American champion, Wesley. Okay. Okay. Wow. I mean, for two guys that are probably, I mean, if you know Dijakovic and Keith Lee and then MSK from before, but if you're not familiar and you were just watching that for the first time, you're like, damn, NXT is, if this is what is on NXT, I want to watch, but that's not what they really have, during the week, midweek when they have their program, but they're going to show out during, NXT takeovers and NXT Vengeance. And that was a hell of a first match on a scale of like 1 to 10 for entertainment factor. I mean, that was a 9 or a 10. I mean, that opened off the mat, and that was much better. I thought this might have been one of the matches that might like be kind of 50-50. Like, could it be good? Could it be bad? But both guys sold really well. A lot of athleticism from both. Dijakovic is a big motherfucker, and so when he's doing the athletic moves, it's really impressive to see. And then you obviously have Wesley, smaller, stout, kind of like I don't know what to. Oh, his finger is all fucked up. Kind of like trying to think, like who does he remind me of? Xavier Woods / a couple other guys, like a Ricochet mashed into one. But impressive. Definitely a good match. A solid 9 on that first match for sure. Yeah, broken finger. Yeah. And then when the finger is pointing this way and the others are pointing this way, might be a sign that it might be broken. Yeah, NASCAR tomorrow, Sunday. They're keeping the Sunday vibe. Sunday, skip a Sunday, Daytona 500 Sunday, and then another Sunday. It's for the football fans, so that way they don't get depressed. It's like football ends and then they need something. But a lot of people that don't love NASCAR or other things, they just, have football and then they just have to wait. I mean, that would be rough. Like, to love football so much that you don't follow anything. Like, there's nothing else that interests you. Like, let's say you just watch college or just NFL. That's a long time to wait to get back to the thing you love again. You got to be able to find something else to attach to. Wrestling, baseball, NASCAR. There's got NBA. Something's got to be able to at least keep your interest like halfway peaked until you get back to the football time. Yes, I saw that. And you know what? It's cheesy for them to do the cross-promotional stuff, but it is cool to see the wrestlers get involved, like Big E, with the white flag, and you're going to see some of the guys cross over because they're both on the same network, and they're going to promote each other and cross-promote. And some of the stuff are going to be silly, cheesy, stupid skits, you know what I mean? But I do like seeing the interaction, and I imagine the NASCAR people are like, dude, this is awesome. Like, whether they're saying it or not, but just to be around some of the wrestlers, I mean, like, I imagine, like, if you grew up watching it, even having Rey Mysterio, like, right in front of you, like, even you're a millionaire and you're like a Ross Chastain and maybe a former champion in the next couple of years. But if you, like, had any appreciation for wrestling and then, like, Rey Mysterio is just, like, right there in front of you, how cool is that? I know I would be like, oh, my God. It's like, your Dom's here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But, I mean, Rey, that's where you would, that's where you would want to go to for sure. All the heel turn. Yeah. Well, for you, because you love college. Saturday is for the boys and Mike. Yeah. Football, I don't know. Football is a Saturday thing, a Sunday thing, a Monday thing. a Thursday thing. It's an everyday thing if they could put it on there every day. Cyberpunk in the building. How are you, man? What's good, guys? NXT Vengeance Day. Blazers are down 20-19 against the Bulls on the road. I was going to do the Senior Bowl, but I woke up a little late and, I had to do dishes and laundry, to walk Paisley, make sure she's taken care of. And I was like, okay, I saw one tweet of this early and I was like, okay, we're going to do this NXT pay-per-view. I did it last year. I usually do them every year. And goddamn, that first match was solid. That was a solid 9. 9.5, maybe even 10. I mean, just all things considered, not a lot of people even know who the hell these two guys are. And if you do, or if you remember from kind of the past, like I did from the MSK thing there with the, Wesley and the Dijakovic. But I was super impressed. That is how you start a pay-per-view, and like even to have guys that are a little bit lower named. And a lot of the guys are lower named, except if you're a well-known guy that gets called down, or like, you're trying to, keep the brand alive. New Day, as you can see with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, or a guy like Apollo Crews there on the left, where we've seen him kind of bounce around as kind of a jobber. Like he just kind of goes from, spot to spot, but they never, ever really give him a push. He's got that athleticism, but he doesn't really have charisma on the mic. And that's the problem with a lot of these wrestlers. If you don't have the look or the charisma or the swag or, something, the manager, the tag team, the people around you, the clique, the NWO, like you need sometimes more than just who you are. And then you get guys that kind of get buried in these promotions where they'll give them a slight push, you know what I mean? Maybe try to get like a lower belt, and then usually it just fades away, and then they just bounce them around and whatnot. But I imagine if you're Apollo Crews, you're probably blessed that you're still wrestling, and it's just another opportunity to kind of prove yourself, and maybe he'll be able to move his way back up to the main roster at some point. All right, here, this is next. So we just got done with Wesley defending North American Championship over Dijakovic and Dijak. And then here, and we have Caden Carter and Katana Chance versus Fallon Henley and Kiana James. So interesting, they're starting off with these two, and then they're going to be doing the build up there for the rest. It'll be interesting to see what match they have next. We go do what we do best. See you later. Best of luck, ladies. I feel like NXT's got a lot of like pretty faces, but as far as like the development of the wrestlers, some of the people shouldn't even be on TV yet. But I guess if you're the third show, NXT, you have to give them some TV time to get them to get their confidence up, I guess, and whatnot, right? To get to the right spot, but. I feel like some of them are, TV ready, and I feel like some aren't, but I guess the only way that you're going to get better is if you get that time. So. Hopefully this ends up being better than like a 5 or 6 match, but you never know. We'll find out. Hey, Pantera on the back porch is nice, man. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, you don't have to be watching. Like I said, there's times where people come here and they're just listening to me talk or talk in the chat, and they're not watching what we're watching. It's not a requirement. There's no penalty for not watching an NXT pay-per-view if you just want to hang out with the boys. Hang out with the boys, the ladies and the gents. I know people do it all the time. Some people will like not even see the video portion. They'll just listen to it in the car. They're just listening to the audio. Some people watch audio and the video. It just really depends on where you are and if you want to come hang out. All right, here's the next match. I know. I was going to do it today, and then I thought that the East-West Shrine game was equally bad like it is every year, but that Reese's Senior Bowl was, that's usually a pretty good game with some pretty good talent, and a lot of people didn't go, and it definitely underwhelmed, and I'm glad that I didn't do it, and I'm glad I did this instead. But normally I do the Reese's Senior Bowl every year. I've only missed it a few times. You know what I mean? But I guess this was the one of the days because I ended up waking up and watching some of it, like 3/4 of it, but I wasn't really impressed with what I saw. I mean, even with guys like Max Duggan, Hacksaw Jim Duggan from TCU, the QB. So it's not like they didn't have anybody out there. But at one point, it was like 6-3. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Is this like the East-West Shrine Bowl? It made me feel like I was watching that. So I was like, I want to take care of Paisley and do some laundry and get shit done before something better comes along. All right, here we go. Caden Carter, Katana Chance versus Fallon Henley and Kiana James. All right, I need to go get my Mango Madness. I think I have it in the freezer. It's about that time. All right. Paisley's on the couch, on the comforter, just chilling. I think she's watching The Simpsons. Oh, my God. So good. There is nothing better than this. I'm telling you, you want something to drink as an alternative, go get Snapple, the biggest one you can. Mango Madness. It'll be in a plastic bottle. Sometimes they do crazy shit on them. They'll do like buy one, get one free. Normally they're like $2 or like $1.79. And I'm already buying them a bunch anyways. So you want to tell me if I buy 5, I can get 10 for the price of 5? Okay. You know, you just throw that bitch in the freezer for like an hour, and then it gets kind of like icy in there. And then it gets kind of like kind of 7-Eleven Slurpee-ish, but you get more liquid, but just a little bit of that ice. And it's the colder of the cold. I need, like, if I'm going to have a drink, I want it to be the cold as possible. And then you get a masterpiece like that. I would pay multiple dollar bills for something like this if I had an option to have something like that. If I was out at a sporting event, that is good. I mean, obviously you can have beer and liquor and whatnot, but I mean, I'm trying to do the more Snapple Gatorade thing. So Megan in the building. How are you? I know. And I appreciate you coming through and hanging out. Oh my God, that's good. From the heavens. Oh, delicious. Oh my gosh, thank you, Cyberpunk. Man, things have been really, really rough in the last like probably 3 months. You know, in the last weeks, you know, sometimes stream will hit, sometimes it won't. But you're gonna have people that will step up, and I just sometimes I gotta pray, and I just gotta keep grinding and know that things are gonna get better. And it's just nice to know that you have people that will make sure that they take care of you. And thank you so much, man. Holding yourself accountable is the hardest thing to do, because there'll be some times, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to stream. And then I'm like thinking about the 5-hour commitment, and whatnot. And then, sometimes this is my full-time job, and it is my passion and my dream, and I love it. But I think everyone gets to a point, regardless of what their job or their dreams are, sometimes you can get kind of caught in your tracks, and, you let your mind start taking over, and making you believe things maybe that aren't true. And, and you just got to be able to hold yourself accountable, keep busy. And as long as you're able to do that, then good things happen. Appreciate you, Cyber. You're the man. Thank you. 92 doll hairs from Cyberpunk. He says, I'm not going to have this guy have a shitty stream. We're going to make sure we're going to get to a good number. And I appreciate you tremendously. Thank you, man. 92 to join. Mike's 841 hundo. We hit the goal. Anything above and beyond this will make up for the last 3 or 4 days. Bang, bang. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you tremendously. And I understand there's going to be days where we're going to be below goal, half of goal, maybe a quarter of the goal. And you just got to be able to not, you just got to move on. Next stream, next day, next event. You never know what people's schedules are. And you just have to, keep grinding it out. Ooh, nice move. Thank you, Cyberman. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. What do you guys want to see for photos? Mike, what do you want? You want some Slayer? Cyber, what do you want for photos here? I mean, anytime we do this, it's not like I'm calling it move for move and I'm a wrestling announcer. So it's kind of just like we're hanging out and watching this together, and some are just hanging at. But let me know what you guys are thinking, and I gotcha. Mike's on the back porch listening to some Slayer. Nothing wrong with that. Slayer!
Chance almost in disbelief as we can see on the outside of the ring, and that was a close call.
Wildfire Tommy Rich. Oh my God, bro. Dude, bro, you never see there's always going to be people that'll, because I'm always a throwback guy, and I'm always looking for like the random stuff. And dude, oh my God. I mean, there's 99% of people on planet Earth have no idea who the fuck that is. That's why I love that, man. You the man. Oh, here we go. Slayer! Mike is like, I like that. Oh, I need the Wildfire Tommy Rich haircut, please. What a stud. And he's had stuff with like a Bam Bam Bigelow and high risk. And I've been doing all kinds of Bam Bam stuff. I'm always looking for Bam Bam stuff, But there's Alpha on Bam Bam. Very cool. Sarah with a tenor. She's like, I want to get in on this. This is good. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang, bang. Number one mod on planet Earth. Sarah Small. She's got the smarts. Yeah, I imagine me and Sarah could probably go to like us two versus any two on any other channel. And I think we would be able to represent ourselves very well. Yeah. It's all about how much, time you're putting into reading and keeping up with things. The more you keep up with things, the smarter you are. And when you start slipping and not keeping up with the news and other people, you got to it's hard to. It takes a lot of dedication to keep up on things like that. Let me know what you want to see. And I got you as well. Could be a wrestler. I saw some really cool, like Bull Nakano photos of her currently with some of the, kind of current Japanese stars and stuff. Like Twitter's cool in a way where I can end up, getting these like wrestling Twitter pages. Oh, her and Karana. 1, 2. But I'm always keeping up with all that stuff. Now let me know what you want to see, and it'll show like Japanese matches. I'll have like Chris Benoit, Bret Hart, maybe Eddie Guerrero. Like I never know what's going to pop up on there. Old school Jericho. But anytime I see like matches that are like, they're like 2-minute like videos attached, I'm watching it. Anytime I get something old, I'm going to watch that. It's like 70s, 80s, 90s wrestling. Yeah, like definitely I want to see that. Little roll up. 2. Even the bots want to come in and play. Here are your winners. No. He said, Slayer! Yeah, I watched Young Rock, and they were talking about Andre the Giant. I watched that this morning. You know me too well, bro. Anything that's obscure in any sport or wrestling, I'm all about that. All about that life. That is awesome. Oh, seriously. Like, if you actually go back and look at some of the old school stuff, it's very cool to see the history of, how things were not only here, but in Japan. And sometimes those wrestlers crossed over very briefly in WWF, but they did. And so that's where there's some of the memories come from. All right, we have new champs. This match was just kind of I don't think it was really. Of course, anytime you follow up to the first match, it's going to be a little bit of a letdown based off just natural paying attention. It's like you get the first match in, you know it's going to be great. You're going to pay attention at the last match. But usually the second match after the first, that one usually underwhelms. And a lot of times that's not going to hold the interest of the fan. It just naturally happens because we already know that second match isn't going to be as good as the first one. Wildfire, Tommy Rich. Slayer! Now Mike's awake on the back porch. Andre. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I used to play with Andre in the video game on Nintendo. I mean, that shows you how old I am. Yeah, but I saw that video of just showing all the wrestlers that have died and how they died in the last like 30, 40 years. Pretty sad. Yeah, because Andre was the first big name. It's like you had Ric Flair and you had Hulk Hogan, but before Hulk Hogan, it was Andre the Giant. That was the first like big marketable superstar that like would sell out places. But obviously we know Hulk Hogan ended up having more popularity, Hulkamaniacs, NWO Hollywood Hogan. But if it wasn't for Andre, I mean, this was a big part of Vince McMahon and the McMahon family's success. I'm going to show you a photo and it'll show you exactly why. Pantera! You switched it up on me, huh? You went from Slayer to Pantera and you didn't even tell me? Jeez. All right, time for some Pantera. Let's see if I can.
Norman, bad news. I never graduated from med school. But the good news is, it's the Xfinity Hello 2023 sale.
Oh, there you go.
Hurry, and you can get Xfinity Internet for $19.99.
Pantera.
Plus, when you add Xfinity Mobile, you get the best price for 2 lines of unlimited. I gotta get this deal.
It's a really dope photo with all the fans in the background and everything. Mosh Pit Central. It's like, where's the females at in there? There's some. There'll be some out there. It looks like a dangerous concert. Just look at the vibe overall. A fun concert, but I mean, depending on how close you are and if you got muscles or not, could definitely be. You could probably get hurt a little bit at a place like that. But looks uber fun. Oh, hi, I'm Andre. It's like Wilt Chamberlain against a bunch of plumbers. Mike, I thank you very much. He says we need to do some Kyle Busch, and I got you. Appreciate you very, very much. Cyberpunk with a $92 dono. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang, bang. Mike with an 8. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Sarah with the tenner. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang, bang. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Bang, bang. And Mike's like, I'm not done yet. He said, I got you. $20 dono from Mike. He said, let's get some Kyle Busch on here. Let's do it. I am really excited. I mean, the M&M's thing, it was like a big thing, but now it's time to kind of build a new legacy with the new branding and everything. And I'm excited, man, to really watch him this year. Anytime I know people are interested in someone, as far as like a fan of that, I usually take a extra interest in that individual as well, and very excited. And he's still one of the guys that will always be like a threat. You know what I mean? It's like you got guys, Joey Logano that just won, and you got Kyle Larson, and you got Chase Elliott, but you always are going to have him kind of in the background. Where if you take him for granted, he's not going to win it every year, but he still has the ability to win it. And a lot of guys in NASCAR can't say that. There's probably only like 5 guys that can really win it every year. Maybe less than that. I'm Mike, $20 dono. He says I need some Kyle Busch. Busch Light. Clash at the Coliseum. Bang, bang. Thank you. Appreciate you. Oh, we got Apollo Crews next. 2 out of 3 falls, baby. Let's see what the next match is. It is this one. Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes. And let's look at some Kyle Busch. So instead of going from the traditional 18 that we've used to see Kyle Busch with the M&Ms, just like Tony Stewart 20 with the Home Depot, and you just DuPont 24 with Jeff Gordon, you just know certain brands and certain numbers are just linked to people fucking forever. And you just remember those things. Like you don't even have to be that hardcore into NASCAR and you can still remember that. Obviously I remember just from watching, but this is the new vibe. The number 8 card's gonna be a little different. Reminds me a little, Dale Earnhardt. Different numbers, 888, and moving it around, but different brand. And there's gonna be different sponsors that he'll add to the car. Obviously, something as colorful as M&M's is always going to be undefeated. But definitely looking to see the different paint schemes and the different collaborations that he's going to have with the 8. And it should be interesting because it's not going to look like that every race. They're gonna mix it up. See if I can find another one for you here. The Rowdy. Bang. Look at that. The magic of the internets. Right there. I mean, they're going to switch it up with the different paints. This is just me looking. Goddamn internets. There's another style. So yeah, it's going to be cool. I mean, and these are just a couple here, and we'll see. I mean, obviously the M&Ms and the colors, it's or when he had like DeWalt, but the M&Ms is really what we've known him for. I mean, honestly, if you actually look at the M&M car, it's probably one of the most iconic cars ever, just based off the branding of M&Ms and just the the colors that you had with the car. I mean, it was really hard to miss. A car like this is pretty undefeated. There's going to be a couple other brands that are going to be as memorable, but I like the simple fact that the car was yellow most of the time. The brightness of the yellow. I guess what's that? The peanut packaging normally with the yellow M&M, but anything is going to come second tier below. But again, when new beginnings happen, new motivation, maybe new people that you're working with, and I would not be shocked to see Kyle Busch hopefully get back to being in the top 5. I'm hoping top 10, and we can end up having some fun, obviously for all our favorites going into 2023. You're watching Supercross on what channel? 4 different schemes. Awesome. I can't wait, man. It's all about the Napa know-how. You're right. Napa know-how. You already know it's all about that. Yeah. Well, like I said, it's not like you have a choice. It's based off like the decals and the company and the sponsors. They're paying millions of dollars to put their branding on the car that funds the car with everything that goes on. even something like this, I thought was very cool. So this was like the old Kyle Busch, and then the new one, the old one. This is another old one, but I look at this paint scheme. I like this one. I like the color with the, like kind of the light blue and everything. It's really easy on the eyes. I like that, but it just blends in nicely. But we're not going to have any M&Ms anymore. New team, new color, new number. I know Kyle will be motivated. No, who doesn't love Gravedigger, dude? I should look that up. What year was that? Oh, Supercross was on Peacock. I didn't turn it on until NXT or whatever. Where was the Supercross in? United States or was it foreign? I just hope Chase and Kyle do great. I hope Kyle Busch has a great year. I already know that Joey Logano is going to try to repeat, and I am hoping that Ross Chastain, even though a lot of people hate him, I hope he has another top 5 finish. I think he deserves it, and I think he's getting closer to steal a championship. In the next 10 years, I think there's a really good shot that if Ross keeps up being a top 5, top 10 driver for the next 10 years, it's going to be pretty easy to get himself at least one time in like the Final Four. He'll probably get there many times, but just to be able to have the right car at the right time, I wouldn't be shocked. And he is kind of a heel. He is stupid. He is reckless. He does make our favorite drivers crash a lot, but he also is a hell of a driver and a personality. And he does things sometimes that work in his favor. Like when he bounced off that wall and then ended up getting the last second finish. Who was it over? Was it over Truex Jr. or whatever? When he bounced off the walls to eliminate someone from the playoff right there at the end. I mean, that's shit that I'll never forget. I mean, there's always going to be memories that I remember from the year. I mean, depending on if it's someone that won their first race, and we had a lot of first-time winners, and a lot of parity. It's not like you're going to have a guy win 10 to 15 races. Sometimes you see one guy dominate, but when you have a lot of people are competing, and like the number one guy is like 4 or 5 wins, then anyone can win. Like a Joey Logano can steal one from Chase Elliott because maybe Joey had 2 to 3 wins or 4, Chase had 5. But in the Final Four, if you haven't been racing good, it doesn't matter. You have to be, you have to be hot at the end. And that's what kind of did Chase in. The cars weren't very good. And, it was really tough for him to be able to make up the ground. Now we got Apollo Crews coming out. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you. He said, Wildfire Tommy Rich. Oh, my God. You're the best, dude. Cyberpunk, you the man. Andre. He's kind of good. That's why I like having you all in the room. The more people I can have that are, the regulars, then we have more stuff to go over instead of it just being kind of like a dead zone and we're just like waiting for people to show up and whatnot. So I appreciate you guys. I always like to take an interest on what you guys like. Oh, it's all good. Don't even apologize if you have $1. Don't, bro. Don't even apologize. Odin son with $1. And we appreciate that here. Some people may not appreciate, but I'll tell you what. I mean, every 99 cents means more to me than the average person. Like, some people are making so much money. They are, they don't care about people and they just expect stuff. But I mean, when you're in the position that I am, it's like everything truly from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot because I mean, some days we do great, views and subs and donos wise, but also there's been times where I think people have seen where we, it's been really rough. You know what I mean? So I really do appreciate everything. The gratitude is always there. Thank you. I mean, I'll treat 99 cents, $1, $500, $1,300. I mean, of course, not everyone is able to do, the bigger amounts, but even the little amounts really do matter. Bang, 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 Odin, son. Don't even apologize for the $1 hair. Hey, that could be helping me getting dog food for Paisley. That extra buck, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Paisley's dog food went from $20 to $30, going from puppy food to adult food. Why would you do this to me, Petco? Bang, bang. Or at least Odin's is helping me with that. Paying for the Paisley dog treat or rope or bone or food campaign. Thank you, man. Yeah. I mean, others may, lie about it and act like, that they, oh, whatever, but you just have to be in touch with what's going on, Times are tough. And it means a lot when people are, running down to kind of the end and they're willing to, try to support you. I mean, $1 doesn't go as far as it did when we were younger. Remember when we could go to the store and like the candies and stuff that we could get? They had like 1 cent, 5-cent candy, and you get a couple candy bars for $1. You know what I mean? Now a candy bar is like fucking like $1.50, $2 for like a small ass candy bar. Like, what the hell happened? Okay, yeah. As an Australian thrash speed metal band, huh? Yeah, show me, dude. Show me, my dude. Show. Yeah, I saw that the NXT, they were going to allow them to go to the Indies. I saw that earlier today. Very cool. Destroyer 666. You like them, huh? All right, I'll post the photo. All right, hold on. Hold on. Oh, yeah. They look cool. I think I would have a beer with them. This is Odin's son's new favorite thing. We got best 2 out of 3 here. Apollo Crews and Carmelo Hayes. Cool stuff in the background. Is this like an album cover type thing or just like a random photo? Since high school. Oh, cool. I like their look, man. And like I said, a lot of times when I listen to like rock and metal stuff, the reason that I normally am a hip hop person, like old school and whatnot, but I have an attachment towards like theme songs and stuff and a lot of wrestling songs and like ECW, WCW, WWF back in the day were part metal or rock. And so you got to hear like different types of music and genres. And if you had other friends that kind of like that, and it just depends on their favorite type of music. And it definitely let me learn how to branch out and not like try to hate on a type of music. You know what I mean? You just got to be open to anything, and you never know what you might end up really falling in love with and whatnot. It's at a show. Yeah, it's very cool. I like it. Oh, I bet. Yeah, shelf looks good. Let's look at Megan's shelf. Let's look at Megan's show. Fernando Valenzuela. Getting his number retired. Finally. And I'm a collectible type of guy, so yeah. Looks good. Got lots of you got the pops and some pucks and stuffed animals, helmets. You got some photos. You got the books. A little bit of everything. Looks good. It looks good. Nice 12 chain. Where'd you get that from? Pretty cool. It's always good to surround yourself around stuff that you love. I found that as a collector, you can have stuff in the box, you can have stuff, not displayed or on the floor or in the closet. But anytime you can, obviously space sometimes is limited, depending on, living situations and whatnot, but making sure that you are around some of the stuff that you love is big, especially if you have mental health, type stuff. It's just being able to have that stuff that you love around you in certain places. So that way, if you ever get to a point where you're, feeling a little uneasy with like anxiety or depression, you can just look down or look at the walls and then you can start feeling good. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like, the water and then, the different scenery backgrounds and the stuff that we look at. I mean, that shit does matter. Like right now, I moved a lot of my stuff in here. I mean, I got so much fucking clutter on this desk. It's ridiculous, but a lot of it is just to make me, I got the Cal Raleigh rookie card auto right here. And then I got the Randy Johnson starting lineup, a Ken Griffey Jr. I got a Randy Johnson, Dan Wilson double bobblehead. I got Hollywood Hogan, a WCW figure with the spray paint and the belt. And I got Ken Griffey Jr. bobblehead, LaMichael James and Mariota, Oregon Duck, custom McFarlane's, NWO guardrail. Like I got all this crazy shit on here, but it's nice. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's good to have that. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I have here now was, just boxed away. And, sometimes you got to, oh, wow, Apollo Crews, holy shit. That was really stiff. That was really, wow. Watch this replay right here. There is no give. Oh, it was more upper body rather than lower, so it could have hurt more, but still, he tried to not land fully on him, but my goodness. Heck yeah. Yeah, trust me, for mental health, a lot of us go through it. You'd be really surprised. Like if I go through some of my old boxes, sometimes you'll find something like a pennant, something that's not even that big, but just take a little time to show it off and just do it. Like if you have a spot for it, let that stuff go on the walls instead of some of the walls being white. And, a lot of times we're working so much and we got other things that we're doing or maybe we're drinking or visiting friends or we're watching stuff. But if you have collectibles, it's always good to go through them and then to rotate some stuff around, or you might find something you haven't seen in a long time. And then you can, put it up on the wall and you'd be really surprised on like how that can increase your vibe overall, especially if it's a cool collectible that you forgot about or something that you've been meaning to hang up, like a really dope flag of your team or, some kind of artwork or something of that nature. Mike with another dono. He says, I'm making sure Orion's not eating fingernails. Fingernails for dinner, not the number one choice. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I'll tell you, man, food gets more and more expensive. Even just ordering, like a pizza or like, McDonald's, like even after you pay like the tip and everything, a lot of times it ends up being like $20 to $25 for a meal that might be gone within like 10 minutes. So a lot of times if you're going to do that, you have to be kind of savvy. Like today, I was like, okay, I'm going to need something. What do I want to do? So I did barbecue chicken pizza. It literally was the same price as something that I ordered like tacos or McDonald's like a few days back. It's like if I'm going to be paying like 25 to 29 bucks anyways, I mean, I might as well have something that's like going to feed me now, feed me later, and maybe tomorrow instead of just being gone in 10 minutes. Shows you how expensive stuff is. I mean, I definitely try to go to the grocery store as much as I can, but sometimes I don't have access to the vehicle. We're sharing one right now with everything that's going on. So sometimes I have to order, and I don't like spending the extra money to order, but sometimes you have no choice. And let's be honest, sometimes even if you have access to vehicles, you don't feel like fucking leaving the house. You know what I mean? You just want to relax. The heat is on, you're snugged up with your pets or whatever, and you're just chilling. And sometimes you just want to like, just watch your shows and just have the food come to the door and you don't want to leave. It's kind of a lazy mentality. And usually I don't like to be like that, but I think everyone has been there where we're just like, fuck it. You know what I mean? It's like either I'm going to order this food this way or I'm not ordering it at all. But it gets spendy, and that's what makes you like learn. You're like, holy shit, I should go to the grocery store. I can get some fruits, and I'd rather eat fruit. But I'm just like everyone else. I'm human. Sometimes I want to eat the fast food or whatever tastes good, even though I know it's bad for me. But then I usually try to walk it off later that day, or at least try to. But I usually am pretty good about it. It's really hard to stay disciplined. I mean, it really is. You can be the most motivated person on planet Earth and still get off track. I mean, I've been there. I'm him. That's me. I mean, thank you, Mike. $19 dono for Mike. My boy. My boy, my boy, my boy. Slayer. Thank you, dude. $19 dono. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. He says, I don't really watch this wrestling crap, but I can't wait for NASCAR tomorrow, baby. Bang, bang. Thank you, man. All about that, Kyle Busch. Thank you. Hey, treating yourself and doing those little things, sometimes that's needed. I feel that a lot of times where, some people turn to like alcohol and other things, when they feel like shit and they want to, they feel like they're sad or bored or, they want to do something. So some people go towards the alcohol or, smoking or other things, right? But a lot of times if you don't want to do those things, food is a good, like, okay, maybe I don't want to go booze it up down here. And I know that is an option, but sometimes just treating yourself to something good, sometimes that can hold that craving over and turn things around mentally. And that's usually where I go when I'm trying to prevent myself from like partying or seeing people. Then I'm just like, all right, me and Paisley are going to hang out. I'm going to try to order some really good food, spend time with her, stay focused that way, and then don't get tempted to try to spend money I shouldn't and go places that I shouldn't. So thank you, Mike. I never had someone bring me food. What do you want to see for photos? Let me see if I can get some more Kyle Busch on here. We're not done with the Kyle Busch. Do you have any Kyle Busch autographs or Kyle Busch like die cast cards? Do you have Kyle Busch stuff at the house? Like die cast cars, little Hot Wheels, or like autographed NASCAR cards and stuff like that. It's got a cool signature. It's nice. I've seen some of his autograph cards on eBay and they look really awesome. I mean, some are better, designed than others, but like when I was looking at my Chase Elliott stuff, and still going to have to get something graded or, some kind of autograph of Chase. Big drop kick. Yeah. And like I said, a lot of times things aren't even as bad as it seems, but you just have to keep yourself busy. That's the thing. The more time that if you have anxiety and you let your mind race, then you're going to go towards negative thoughts eventually. You know what I mean? And so it's like you have to be able to know yourself and try to do the things that that make you happy and continue in a pattern to do that. And once you stray away from your happiness pattern, that's when you start, going into the gutter and you start making bad decisions or maybe aren't as productive. And then one day leads to 2 days leads to 3. And that's how we get into that little bubble and that hole. And it's hard to get out once it's already past a day to 2 days. It takes a lot of strength to get out, or you have to have some kind of motivation. So, okay, we can do that. Yeah, but I've always found like, a good milkshake, a good beverage, a good thing of food that will help me prevent me from, because like I said, I'm not really a drinker. You know what I mean? I tried to cut it out and, I don't need hard alcohol or beer. Can I drink that? Yeah, of course I could, but it's like, I don't know. I'm more of a smoker type person with just, with the dispensaries that are available. I'd rather do that. But 2 count. Ooh, big kick to the face. Oh, what a move. 2. Yeah, that was a nice move by Carmelo. Who's got the most upside, Odin's son, on the roster, not including Braun Breaker? Like, who is the guy that's got potential to make it on the upside of the roster? Like, is it Carmelo Hayes? Is it someone from here? Obviously, we know Roxanne Perez. You know, we have to, someone's got to hold it down as champ for the men's and the women. You know what I mean? And I don't know if they would really give Roxanne Perez the same kind of push as a Bianca Belair or Charlotte Flair. I highly doubt it. You know what I mean? But Braun's got kind of a build and a look like a Roman, you know, Reigns type of, you know, where you could give him an IC title, but, you know, if it got to a point where they wanted to make him the champion, you know, or one of the options for a championship, I could potentially see that. But I'm not really seeing, I mean, obviously Wesley's super athletic, and pairing him up with Ricochet would be cool, but I just feel like the depth on the roster could be better. And, of course, they have Apollo Crews and New Day down there to try to beef it up. So at least that gives you a reason to watch a little. So now Apollo will get one. Yeah, if I ever could go in a time machine, though, those NXT takeovers. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, NXT TakeOver Toronto. Those are the ones I remember, like, to the T. I was just, like, losing my mind. Like, I haven't lost my mind at a pay-per-view, like, in a while. Like, you know, stuff in the 80s and 90s, I would lose my mind. But obviously at the peak of wrestling. But, I mean, it takes a really special pay-per-view. And also I have to be, like, the crowd has to be a 10. You know, because if you notice when they go to like Canada or somewhere foreign and the crowd is just chanting the whole time, it's super loud. It makes a huge difference in the overall quality of the show. And I think the wrestlers, they really do feed off that energy, and then they take their performance that maybe would have been an 8 to like a 10. Oh, I wish every match or everything that we would see would be off like Canada or foreign soil, you know, because that's where the energy is. Their crowds are better. I mean, we do get crowds in like Chicago and, you know, a few places in the United States that are super passionate and loud. New York, obviously the Mecca. But I mean, obviously, if you've watched wrestling for a long time, you already know Canada and foreign is going to be even higher, especially like Wales. And if it's far, far away, because they don't get any opportunity to see it. So if they see it, they're going to be loud as shit. It's like one time a year, one time every few years. But even with Canada, I mean, they're only seeing a few shows a year from both promotions. It's not like they get, 50 opportunities in the year. It's like they're getting a few. Nice little leg drop there onto the neck of Apollo Crews. 2. Thank you, guys. You're the best. Definitely helps out for the last couple for sure. Oh my God. Wow. Wow, that was awesome. What a move. That athleticism. Damn, you better show me a replay. Oh, that was sweet. See, that's the type of stuff that I like, because that like reminds me of like ECW. And I introduced my friends to ECW back in the day, and they were like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Oh, Ryan, you're stupid." And I'm like, "No." I was like, "I know it looks like backyard, like, third tier wrestling, and like a bunch of just like homeless people running around beating the shit out of each other, and the presentation isn't as good as WWF or WCW." I'm just like, "But just watch for like an hour and tell me you don't want to watch more." And then everyone was hooked. I mean, and it didn't even matter who it was, even like the lower name guys. Like, it was just entertaining, man. And I love seeing those like innovative moves that you don't see that often. That's what does it for me in wrestling. Double team moves, triple team moves, and just seeing moves you've never seen before or rarely. What do we got here? They're both on the middle rope. Some kind of high risk. Oh, shit. I'm glad the pay-per-view is good, because I would have been like, oh my God, fucking East-West Shrine Bowl, booty cheeks. right? Senior Bowl, booty cheeks. NXT Vengeance, I mean, come on, man. I need to have some stuff that's good. And it looks like Blazers and Bulls are at halftime. I'm going to hit Mike up with an Alabama photo. We have time. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. You liked it? I felt it could be a little bit better. It was better than the East-West Shrine game, but it started off a little slow, but it looks like it picked up in the third and fourth quarter. Matt in the building, what to do? I might go back and rewatch it from the very beginning, and maybe my opinion will change. I need to watch it from the very beginning. But like I said, it is one of the last, matchups that you can see where guys have pads on and they're going after it. So, but from what I saw, I wasn't too impressed. But yeah, East-West Shrine Bowl was unwatchable, and then the Senior Bowl is watchable. But I woke up late and I didn't get to see it from the very beginning, and I was thinking about maybe doing that particular Senior Bowl. I usually do, but I didn't wake up in time. And when I saw it, it was kind of low. But I know once it got into the third quarter, fourth quarter, it looks like the scoring went up. But at least in the first half, it was very slow. Yeah, I know you're a college fan, so you're going to love everything college. Oh, that was cool. They did 2 out of 3, and then they just did 2. See that? Even those little subtle details, instead of doing it one, and then us assuming that the person's going to win the third one, those little subtle details of just winning, boom, boom, and it's over. I like that. A lot of times people don't think that shit matters, but you just want things not to be so fucking predictable all the time in WWE. Fucking famouser off the top, dude. And he connected on the back of the neck actually pretty clean. Because imagine if you jump like that and miss. I mean, you could kind of fuck your leg up a little bit. I mean, a lot of times you won't. You'll just, bounce off and you'll be fine. But famous are off the top. Let's go, baby. All right, Carmelo Hayes with the victory. How tall is this guy? He looks like he's like at least 6'8". I mean, some guys are smaller, so they can look bigger against the big, tall guys. But what is he, 6'8" to 7 foot? He looks pretty big.
Congratulations, champ. Actually, it was Brooks' idea. Yes. I love this right here. I love it. Let's go, Drake!
All right, what's next? So let's see. We're going to go here next. Is that what we're doing? And then we're going to go that, and then this. And then we're going to finish the show with this. Is that the order? I don't know if I have it right, but I would assume something of that nature. As long as the Braun Breaker keeps improving his mic skills and whatnot, you know, he's got the look. You know what I mean? He's a good wrestler. He's got good lineage with Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner. It's just about making sure that you get better and better on the microphone. And like I said, it's almost inevitable. You already know he's going to be on a SmackDown or Raw, but how are they going to use him? Are they going to keep giving him a push, or will he get like the IC and then they just kind of bury him in mid-level territory? You know, like, I don't know. We will see. All right, take it easy. All right, no problem. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. I know every dollar counts, and thank you so much. Have fun with the Grand Chitlins, and I will see you and Megan maybe later on tomorrow. And NASCAR's tomorrow, so I already know I'm going to see you, and I'll be live probably around 4:30, 4:45. So thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. Good old Kyle Busch, baby. Thank you, Mike. Mike's MVP, baby. Cyberpunk. Mike, a lot of y'all. Appreciate you. Yeah, that definitely made up for the last other couple days where we were kind of struggling. So thank you, guys. All right, we're an hour and 42 minutes in, but we still got, 3 matches left, roughly? So we're about halfway through. So we're about halfway through the actual stream then, I would assume. We'll be done probably around that 3 hour, 30-minute mark. And then depending on if we have other people show up after, we may stay a little bit later, or we might just call it, and I'll spend time with Paisley, and then maybe I'll go for another walk or something. And then we have NASCAR tomorrow at 5. So I'm super, super excited. All right, so it looks like this is next. Chase U just acts like a bunch of like insane, like insane people. Like every time they do like their little their little interview type thing or their little promo thing, there's a bunch of just insanity. They got old boy wearing fucking a sweater. It's an interesting concept. I mean, obviously they're not like anybody else, right? The girl is crazy. Oh, boy's wearing a sweater. They have their little Chase U, so they have their little, you know, Okay, they have their own little gimmick and whatnot. And then they actually have one guy that actually looks like a wrestler. Wrestling fans love gimmicks. Well, I don't know. They're pretty crazy though. I don't know. Maybe Chase U. I don't know. Chase U. Okay, now I'm not trying to. Okay, what does this remind me of? Pretty Deadly. You guys look like you should be in a vampire movie, maybe Blade, or you look like you could be a figure skater. I'm very confused on Pretty Deadly, but you either need to be in Blade or you're a figure skater or something of that nature, or need to go paragliding. They look like they could be in Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. I wonder who came up with those outfits. They're like, this is the outfit for you guys. This is a good look. They're like, trust me, this is a really good look. We have the New Day. Chase U, Pretty Deadly, Gallus, a New Day. They need to come up with a better name than Gallus. They hungry, dog. Yes. Seriously. And maybe that was part of the gimmick that they were going for, a little bit of like that Saturday Night Live type of vibe, but they're just making it into their own little wrestling, like using that type of gimmick. I mean, it's very similar. And we got the New Day. Yes, it is. Okay. Let them know, New Day. So is Big E ever wrestling ever again, or is his shit so fucked up that he's never going to wrestle again? Have they had any updates on the New Day for Big E? I like it that Xavier Woods is a gamer too. That's cool. He's living his best life. He gets to do the professional wrestling thing. You know what I mean? But has that passion for video games and brought that passion over to Big E and Kofi too, and a lot of the other wrestlers that he's had on his show and whatnot. Obviously with Seth Rollins and a lot of the others too. Just cool to be able to see him do that side of the free time stuff. Xavier likes the retro, the old school. I'm the same. Fatal 4-way, baby. Team Championship. She said, yes, yes, yeah. She's hella muscular, though. You know what I mean? Like, she lifts weights, you can tell. The figure skaters. The team of We Need a New Name. Gallus, bitches. Team Champions. Yo, Woods, Kofi, Kingston, New Day. I mean, it's definitely a demotion, to go down to NXT, but obviously I feel that these guys, will do anything for the company. And if that means going down to NXT, at least they're champs down there, you know what I mean? Just to help keep the brand alive, because they do need, some more talent to go down from like SmackDown and Raw to help out, because this roster is very thin. There is talent there, though. I'm not saying that there's not talent. There is, but I feel like the talent level in like previous years has been much better. I mean, I didn't have to watch guys that look like they belong in Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, or guys that are wearing sweaters. It's like I don't think that these guys are going to make it on the SmackDown or Raw roster. They're kind of capped out. Shout out to Cyberpunk and Mike stepping up. That really, really helped us out, like so much. All the people that have donated so far, thank you so much. Helps tremendously. Tremendous Dog. Mike started off with an 8, and then Cyber, and then we got a few after that. You guys are awesome. She said, yeah. The tag. Nice suplex. I need to go get my water.
Certainly wasn't. Another tag was made. This is that chaos we were talking about earlier, folks. So everything expected the unexpected in this sort of match. But now you see Mark Coffey entering the fray. They look for Dallas. They showed no remorse. They love nothing more than a good scrap. The more teams, the merrier when it comes to the Gallus boys.
I like this bullshit right here. No playing, no trying to check this out. No wasted time, just business. I love everything about that. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Oh, yes.
When we talk about Gallus, now you see Mark Coffey. Imagine this. Mark Coffey is the level-headed one of Gallus. For a second. Another tag was made, and in comes Xavier Woods. Woods wants him some of one of the Gallus boys, and nice. Just unloading his Woods. But, take a look at what Gallus is doing. Gallus is keeping anyone who's in the ring with it over their corner, making quick tags.
That's great tag team work. I'm just looking at how both of these guys want, deliver everything rock solid.
Too long as a tag was made, and in comes Prince. Tags are going to be made, of course, pretty deadly. History with the New Day. Take a look at everyone in this match. JC respects the New Day. Gallus care less about the New Day.
All right, back.
In control, pretty deadly. We want to once again call ourselves champions.
Everybody can change. They fought their way into this matchup right here. Being a no-fan blade as well as the skin. That was a big deal for those guys.
I was just about to ask you, bro.
Those tag titles was pretty epic. Prince was
I need people to kind of bring me up to speed. I mean, I feel like I know some of the information, but I don't watch the show in entirety every week. I just can't because a lot of times it's unwatchable. But, obviously when the pay-per-view comes along, I'm going to be, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to watch it unless I'm like out of town or something. See if it gives me another chance to like watch it during during the week. Well, I think it's a lot more than that. That's going to be one thing, though. They have to have a running game, and their defense has to come to play. They have to make plays with the D-line and the secondary, and if they don't, they'll lose 100%. O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, play calling, but, the defense is a liability, and I don't know if they can run. I hope they can, you know what I mean? But that'll be the real key. If they can find a way to use their exotic play calling, and if they can't just do dives and tosses, to the outside with Pacheco and McKinnon, they're going to have to be sexy with the ring around the rosy and doing some like exotic play calling, and that might even it out a little bit. But ultimately, they have to play like they did against Cincinnati if they have any shot. They have to be able to get, 3 to 5 sacks on Jalen and try to get 1 or 2 picks, preferably 2. Because you already know if you get 2 on Jalen, that doesn't mean that you shut him out. He still might have a touchdown pass with his legs or with his arm, but you want to slow it down if you can. So I think Eagles already know that they're going to have a running day, a field day with the running game on their end. But, I mean, I think, like I said, it's really the Chiefs' defense. If they play good, they're going to have a shot and win. But if they play bad, it's over. You know what I mean? Because the Eagles are so well-rounded. That's kind of how I feel. It's not as even as a matchup, but when you have legends like Mahomes and Kelsey, Reed and Bieniemy, it makes up a little, but still there's concerns with the O-line, the running game, and the defense. But if they play like Cincinnati, they can win. They can be the sleeper team, that underdog. And it's not like they would beat Philly by a lot. I think that the Super Bowl, if Kansas City does win, they probably would win by a touchdown or less, but realistically, probably 3 points or less, because it would come down to the defense making plays and Philly not scoring as much, but still scoring. And then they find a way to get a field goal with Butker, and then they win by 3. Something, you know what I'm saying? It would have to be something like that. It's like, even if they played fantastic defense, I don't think that there's a possibility that, the Chiefs just run away with it and they win by like 15 or 20. I don't think I could see that. Not against Philadelphia. And if they do, well, good for them, but I don't know if anyone would really see that happening. Like Philly having the worst game of the season and Chiefs just playing out of their fucking minds and winning by 14. I mean, I guess it is possible. It is the NFL, but if you watch matchups, usually the games are, 10 points or less, most of them. So, yeah, and Andy Reid coaching both, and but Philly definitely has the deeper team with the more depth on the bench and in the starters, offense and defense. But again, if Kansas City comes to play, even though they're not as good overall as a roster, it's just getting hot and and just executing. Anybody can beat anyone once you're in the Super Bowl, and there's no home field advantage. So all that extra home field that Philly fans were giving and Kansas City fans are giving, they're not there anymore. So really what it's going to come down to, who's the most disciplined that doesn't need the rah-rah behind them from the rich billionaires, and they can find a way to be clean the whole game, and that's really going to be the key. There is no, Chief section or Eagle section. I mean, there's going to be fans, but it's not going to be loud as if it were in Philadelphia or in Kansas City. But it should be. Oh, there goes a figure skater off the top. Oh, here goes another figure skater with a boot to the face. All right, Kofi, Xavier Woods, Kofi. New Day rocks, supposedly. They rock. 2. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I just have to call it right down the middle, regardless if I'm a fan of this team or that team. I just basically just being a fair person, an evaluator on the outside looking in. The rosters, it's not an even matchup. There are some things that will help Kansas City, even though they O-line in the running game and the defense aren't as good as Philadelphia's. But also you have Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey. So there's going to be some magic there. And you also have, Bieniemy and Andy Reid. So that also helps, where you can be a little bit more creative. Yeah, your O-line has some holes. Yeah, your running game, it can be good at times and very, ghostly at times and not even be there. And the defense can get torched in the secondary, but sometimes they may get picks and they play really well, even though they're young. And we know the defensive line sometimes is great, and sometimes we're wondering where the hell are they? I mean, that's just the bottom line truth. I mean, I need more than Chris Jones, and if I can get more than Chris Jones, you guys are going to have a shot. But that means Frank Clark and George need to be active. I don't worry about Willie Gay, Nick Bolton, but it's going to come down to your D-line and your secondary. I mean, I think that's very, very clear. But if you can get, 3 to 5 sacks on Hurts and pick him off once or twice, you definitely are going to be in the game at the end. And that's what's going to need to happen, Unless Kansas City runs back a kick for a touchdown, a punt, a kick return, or a pick six or a fumble, something of that nature, then that will help with momentum. Having a big play that no one thinks is coming, that could definitely, swing the momentum drastically. If Philly's ahead and then all of a sudden Kansas City gets a pick six, that could really change momentum. But we don't see that too often in a Super Bowl. Oh, big superplex from the top into everybody that is in the match, including the figure skaters. I don't know. It's figure skaters, Lord of the Rings. They look like they play a Game of Thrones. There's many shows that those guys could be on. Hey, at least if you're a Broncos fan now, the one thing you can be excited about that even if, Russ is going to be better than he ever has been with Sean Payton. I mean, this is going to be an opportunity where if he can't do it with Sean, you're not going to be able to do it with anybody else, right? So there is a chance to be better than you were last year, even if it takes a couple years, to get to the playoffs and whatnot. But Sean Payton is more of the valuable commodity than Russell Wilson. I mean, we might get a better version of Russ, but maybe we don't see Denver really succeed further until Russ's time is up. And hopefully Sean is still there, unless they decide to bench him and whatnot, but we'll see. Oh, figure skater with a back elbow and where they're beating him with the stomps. Oh, look at Tanya Harding. Oh, no, couldn't have Tanya do it. Oh, she said no. Yeah, I mean, for an NXT pay-per-view, I mean, like I said, they usually deliver. I mean, NXT, I don't know if I've ever seen a bad NXT takeover, ever. It's always been entertaining, the whole way through. And these Vengeance days usually are pretty good. Maybe not as good as a takeover, but it just depends on where it's being held and with how the crowd participation is. But usually crowd participation is pretty good. I mean, it's going to be better than a regular NXT show. And it was just good to be able to have some of the GOATs come in, and some are still hanging out, and even people coming through and showing some love and hanging out. And we got NASCAR tomorrow. I mean, I'm so ready. I am ready, man. I just wish the Daytona 500 was this weekend, and the race that we're getting tomorrow, the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum, was the one that was a couple weeks ago. It's like you got to start off with a Daytona 500. How can you start with something that's not? But just to see the drivers and their new sponsors and just the new the announcers out there and just the excitement in the air, it's always cool when a sport starts off, baseball or NASCAR, just that beginning of the season kind of hype definitely is going to be sweet. I don't like the fact that I got to wait a week, but we have Super Bowl, so at least I can be like, okay, NASCAR, Super Bowl, NASCAR, and then it's fully NASCAR and baseball. Oh, that was aggressive. Gallus. Shane Ray's in CFL. NXT. You haven't heard people chant NXT in a long fucking time. There's NWSF and the rest of the competitors. Get him, Andre. Dope photo. Get him with your sweater. Imagine how uncomfortable it'd be wearing a fucking sweater and like pants. I mean, at least he's got the shoe part down where he's not, wearing like wrestling boots. Chase you. Sweater boy. Two for Sweater Boy. Toronto, huh? And I imagine we're going to see some people in the USFL and XFL, like former players and guys out of college. And if they do well, some will be on NFL rosters in the next few years. So that's another kind of exciting thing, that it's not just like seeing a bunch of guys that fucking suck at football. You know what I mean? There will be opportunities in those two leagues where you may see a guy that ends up making it. Not a lot, but maybe a couple, and that's pretty cool. Being able to chase your dreams that way. Oh, Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Fandango. And Tyler Breeze. Breezango. I don't know. I didn't really mind the Fandango Tyler Breeze gimmick. I mean, if you watched wrestling back in the 80s and 90s, everyone dressed up and there was always crazy gimmicks and everyone wore masks and face paint and everything. So Pretty Deadly got too much makeup on. Oh, there goes the figure skaters. There we go. Hit him with that up, up, down, down. Up, up, down, down, left, right, AB, select, start, contra. 100 lives, all the guns. Let's go. Oh, Gallus. Oh. Gallus. The team that needs a new name. Gallus. New NXT Tag Team Champions. All right, we got 2 matches left. Oh, baby. Roxanne Perez and JC Jane, Gigi Dolan, NXT Women's Championship match. And the one that I'm really looking forward to, Braun Breaker versus Grayson Waller, NXT Championship cage match. But the shitty thing is you already know 100% Braun Breaker is winning and 100% Roxanne Perez is winning. So sometimes when you get to like those kind of matches where you already know the outcome, you just hope that the match ends up being good. That's one thing about wrestling, it's like you kind of have an idea, and it's nice to be surprised. That's why I always like those subtle details. Best 2 out of 3, and one guy wins both. And then the match is fucking over, not just 1-1 and then someone else. So I need those little subtle adjustments and those little things, to keep me interested. And that way I'm not predicting every fucking thing that happens. And I know I'm not the only one. I know Odin's son, Sarah, I imagine you guys think very similar to me when you've been watching wrestling for 30 to 40 years, where it's like it's kind of easy to predict WWE. But with Triple H, it's getting to be like a little unpredictable, not a lot, but more than we were seeing with Vince for sure.
It's been my life. The good and the bad.
And I assume this is next. Ric Flair. For real. It's my boy. I got a few things Ric Flair. Like when they did the 30 for 30 and whatever, I got the big Ric Flair face t-shirt. It's actually one of my favorite like wrestling shirts. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, you know, when you can find stuff like that, it just, you know, they have like logos and everything, but I usually like to be able to find the stuff that actually has the graphic of the actual wrestler, like the face, or, you know, if it's got like a wrestling pose or whatever, you know, you can always get the logo stuff, and the logo stuff is cool, but big Ric Flair face on the t-shirt. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I might have to, I haven't gone to his website and ordered anything since that original 30 for 30, but maybe I don't have money to fucking buy anything, you know, to do anything like that, but maybe I'll go there at some point and just take a peek to see if he has anything as cool as that black tee with the white, you know, Ric Flair face on it. Still one of my favorites. I haven't worn it in a long time. I don't even know where the fuck it is. I have to actually look through the laundry and everything, because pretty much all my shirts are like sport related or wrestling related, like a majority of them. I mean, that's just what I like to wear. So, all right, we got 2 matches to go. But so far, it's been a good pay-per-view. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's been a solid 8. I've been entertained. There hasn't really been, you know, there's been some matches in between. You know what I mean? Maybe not, you know, too crazy, you know, maybe about this one here and stuff. But this one started off the show with a fucking bang. You know, and most of the matches, you know, they may not be 10s or anything, but, you know, it's not terrible. Had some good spots in each of the matches, and hopefully we end up getting some really cool double team moves and some good spots here, and hopefully we have some crazy shit that happens in this match. I haven't watched too much of Grayson Waller, so I want to be able to see what he can do out there. I've seen some of his promos, and I've seen, you know, some stuff, but not enough. But I think so far it's been like an 8. Now, if you end up giving this, if this match turns into like a 9 or a 10, and this ends up being a 9 or a 10 type of match, then overall the pay-per-view will be a 9. But if it ends up being like an 8, and then this is an 8, then it's going to pretty much finish like 8, 8.5. But an 8, 8.5 pay-per-view is good. Remember back in the day where we would complain, where we would watch like Royal Rumble and like Vince was running it and it was like a 5, and we're like, oh, here's another 5 again. I mean, we would have like 10 matches and only 3 would be good. Remember that? That was the worst. It's like we're sitting here together as fans just wanting to hang out and have a good time, and we can only have 3 good matches out of fucking 10, and then like 3 good matches, 3 average matches, and 4 bad ones. I mean, that's a horrible way to do a pay-per-view for us fans, you know. So God bless Triple H, and I mean, we'll see what happens with WWE if they get sold to the Saudis or Disney or Amazon or Elon Musk, who the fuck knows, whoever decides to buy, you know, if they decide. I hope things kind of stay relatively the same. It just ownership changes, and then the money goes from, you know, them to the new ownership. But oh, I saw that. I know Elliot was always like Boogs, you know what I mean? Because he didn't really know a lot of the wrestling names. And I know he attached to Rick Boogs, but I saw that. Yeah, he's back. What is he on right now? Is he on Raw or is he on SmackDown? But I remember seeing him. And then he showed up at Royal Rumble. Is that where we saw him? Royal Rumble? So, all right, here we go. Next up. This is what I figured this was going to be next. And you know, obviously with Toxic Attraction, not the same without Mandy Rose there. Just that's what happens. Let's go, Roxanne. Into this business just so I could end up here. This is all I've ever dreamed of, and now it's real. It would have been, I think, a more of a special moment, though. It was a special moment, but if Mandy Rose was still there and you beat her, and then you have like a feud with her back and forth, that would have pushed the women's and the NXT to a higher like level. instead of having Mandy Rose get like kind of fired and then they had to drop the belt off of her and then, and go that route. But still, when you're the champ, you're the champ. And not many people on planet Earth are ever going to know what that feels like. Gigi. It just sucks. Anytime you have a faction and you have something that's like building momentum, and then something always happens to like one of the fucking wrestlers, one out of the three, one out of the two. It's, I don't know. That's got to be brutal. You know what I mean? Especially when you're just trying to be able to build a name for yourself, and then you gotta start over again. But let's go. Rick Boogs. Let's go. 2 matches left. Roxanne's like, I'm about to beat these bitches. We've all had some toxic attraction in our lives before. That's facts. All right, JC Jane got kind of like the black and the pink thing. It's not necessarily Bret Hart colors. Pink is a little kind of a low-key pink, but yeah, Cora Jade's got some skills. You can tell that she's got potential from the matches that I've seen and whatnot. Riddle was trained by jiu-jitsu by the Gracies. Hoist Gracie? No shit, but the Gracie family. Yeah, you can tell how old someone is when like I actually watched UFC 1 with like Hoist Gracie. You know what I mean? Like Hoist Gracie, Ken Shamrock, like all the shit like in the beginning stages. Here we go, Roxanne Perez, baby. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. 2 matches to go. Championship.
Introducing first the challengers, representing Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan and JCJ. And their opponent, she is the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne.
Ruse. Small in stature, but fights with a lot of heart. Kind of like an Alexa Bliss, a little undersized, a little smaller compared to some of the other female competitors. But you can definitely tell you can still be a smaller wrestler and a little undersized. But if you got the heart and the skill set, it don't matter. It's like, look at my boy Bryan Danielson, you know? Oh, awesome. BloodyElbow.com. So far, good pay-per-view though. I'm glad that you guys are here hanging out with me, and we ended up having a decent amount of people come through. Everything is kind of played out like I was hoping it was going to play out, but I didn't know for sure. And it's just nice to be able to hang out. I'm glad I didn't do the early broadcast. Later broadcasts are always better. Oh, that was a big kick.
Toxic Attraction, who in their own right one of the best tag teams to ever grace the squared circle here in NXT. Shoulders down and right up. There we go now. Perez trying to wrestle the fight back. But there's Jane. You can't fight everybody. You can't keep your eyes everywhere.
How tall is Roxanne Perez? Is she like 5 foot? 5 foot to 5'2"? Jameson in the building. How are you? What's good, bro? This pay-per-view actually has been pretty good. Pretty good. We got the last two matches. This one, and we got Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller for the NXT Championship in a cage match. Cage matches are always lit, so that'll always be good, even if the wrestlers may not be your favorite. I mean, usually cage matches typically don't disappoint. Might be time to go get some pizza and heat it up. Might be time for some of that barbecue chicken pizza, baby. Might be time for that barbecue chicken pizza, baby. All right, Roxanne. Oh, wow. Roxanne Perez, high risk. That was sweet. Fuck yeah. Let's go. I like Roxanne Perez's fire and her intensity too. You know what I mean? It takes a lot to be able to be the face of a program and whatnot. And I just wish, hopefully one day AEW, for all the ladies that aren't really getting a fair shot to be able to develop properly. I know WWE is a very big thing, but hopefully we can get some of these people that are in NXT, SmackDown, and Raw that are maybe mid-level or overlooked, that they get a shot to go to AEW and at least be a name and get a little bit more opportunity for TV time as well as do matches. But yeah, I was going to say, I mean, just me, dating females in the past and me just looking at the screen and whatnot. But she definitely looks like she's 5 foot to 5'2". How tall is she? 5'1". So your boy's good. Right in that window. That's like a musical performance or something, right, Jameson? JC Jane kind of has Dr. Britt Baker vibes a little bit. Oh, into the steps, baby. Yeah, it's surprisingly, I was like, okay, I thought this could be an 8 pay-per-view. And for me, that's saying something. I know me and Odin's son and a few of us and Sarah, we're very critical of things that we love. We can't just give something a high score just because it's the brand that we like. Like, I need them to show me. I mean, I've been watching too many bad things, matches and fucking football games. But I was, they went out with a bang and they started off with Wesley and Dijak, and this match killed it. This was a solid 9 or 10 to start off the pay-per-view. It was very good, especially compared to some of the others that were in between. But definitely, this was one of the most memorable matches on the night so far. And I think that the last one, this one will be something like of that first match too, that there's going to be a chance that this was the second best match and it kicked off the show with a fucking bang. And this one hopefully ends up being by far the best. But I just want to see some really cool spots with the cage, hopefully blood, hopefully, throwing the guys into the cage and some unique moves. I'm not sure if we're going to get guys jumping off the cage and whatnot, but I definitely want to be able to, hopefully they have some good spots. It doesn't matter. We're going to be garbage. I don't think anyone really cares. I know Cameron Jordan is petty. He's like, the Bucks are going to go back to being the Bucks. I guess I'd feel the same way too if we were the best team in the NFL for 4 years in the regular season and had no Super Bowl and played with Breeze for like 10 years and couldn't get it done. But the Saints and the Bucks and the Panthers and Falcons all suck. So Carr's too much money. But if he ends up coming, then fine. But we only have Kyle Trask, and I'm not expecting anything from the Buccaneers in the next 5 years. So it doesn't really affect me. It's like, I already know the Pac-12 is going to get so much harder, even if USC and UCLA lose. I mean, there's going to be like 8 solid quarterbacks out of like 12 teams in the Pac-12 next year. And there's going to be some first-round draft picks out of that Pac-12. It's going to be crazy. So it's no longer like, well, Oregon's going to be in the Pac-12 championship. Like, we might not even be able to get there if it's like USC and Utah and these other teams that might be better than us. Tampa's going to be fucking terrible. But it all starts with coaching, play calling, and some of the roster. At least I have NASCAR coming up tomorrow, and then my Mariners with Julio should be good, and my dad's Dodgers should be good to watch as well. So, yeah, but I don't know. For us, Brady will go into the booth, and I don't really know if I would want Carr or Rodgers because with no O-line, they're going to play like shit, just like Brady did this year. So, I don't know. It's probably best off on trying to draft someone or try to get someone in free agency, but you just don't want to have to pay like $40 million a year for a Carr. I guess we will, but it's not like I think we're going to be good. Oh, nice double DDT there. Like the idea of Carr going there is nice. You know what I mean? Because that would be the best fit for Carr and for Tampa. But we still need offensive line and defense, and we need to figure out the head coaching job, OC, DC. We need to figure all that shit out. And at this point, I have no expectations, and it's just I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? I've been alive for 40 years. I've got to see 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl wins. If I don't see another one for the rest of my life, I think I'm okay with that. But it would be nice to see Oregon win 1 natty before I die, to see the Blazers win 1 championship before I die, and I would love to see the Mariners win a World Series or get to a World Series before I die as well. But I think the Blazer one I'm not expecting. Ducks, it would be incredibly hard unless we get more recruiting or maybe a better coach. But the Mariners, I think there is a possibility that might be the one that's the most likely to happen to get to ALDS to ALCS to World Series. I definitely think the Mariners, as long as Julio's there, we will have a shot between now and 20 years from now. But there should be at least one shot or hopefully a couple where we're right there, where we have a chance to win. Of course, getting to the World Series and losing would break my heart, But just to be able to get that far and to get the Mariners on the notice of everyone in the world that Julio's fucking good. And they didn't even put Julio on the MLB The Show. They fucking put Jazz Chisholm from my boy Preston's team. Why the fuck would they put that guy on there who's not even a top 20 player in baseball? Julio or Aaron Judge. Hello, Aaron Judge with the 62. Julio, Rookie of the Year. Put that guy. And then I know Julio got on the cover of some of the boxes of cards, but that's not the same as MLB The Show. But it shows you they obviously don't know what the fuck they're doing. So, oh, nice. I know you like country music and you have a lot of interests that are special to you and whatnot. That's awesome, man. How long was it? Yeah, well, I think Kyrie to the Lakers. I mean, at this point, Kyrie is toxic, but at least it's better than Russell Westbrook if you're a Laker fan. You know what I mean? Because it's if you got AD, Kyrie, and LeBron, even if you're losing games, at least you got someone that's better than Westbrook, a guy that can at least dribble and pass, and he can score and whatnot. So I mean, if you're willing to bring in Russell Westbrook and that's toxic and shit, Kyrie's hella toxic too, but at least you're going to get better production out of two toxic guys. Who's more productive? It's Kyrie. So even though he's a little loco, and maybe being around LeBron and Anthony Davis, he won't be as crazy. Of course, he don't give a shit about Kevin Durant, but maybe he respects LeBron and AD a little more. Maybe not. Maybe he's in his own world. You know what I mean? But I would assume that maybe Kyrie would try harder in LA, but it's not like I think that they're a championship team with those three guys. Like the Lakers and the Blazers, we're okay, but there's still a lot of teams that are better than us right now. But we could make a run, both of our teams, Blazers and Lakers, because there's going to be some teams that slide a little bit. 127, 121. Fuck, we're going to lose the Bulls? Fuck my life. Damn it. Another game that we fucking lose when I watch. Fucking Blazers, dude. Fuck. My buddy's he's like, watch the Blazers, bro. Watch the Blazers. Okay, I will. And now they're 2-12 since I've streamed them during the season. But I've gone in person twice and they've won both of those games. Oh, big headbutt. We just fucking lost. Motherfuck. Now I got to message my buddy. I was like, are you watching NXT or the Blazers? Probably he's watching Blazers. You watching Blazers? Boo. I know that'll get him fired up. You watching Blazers? Boo, with 3 exclamation points. And I was like, NXT has been good. NXT PPV has been good. Brutal. Motherfuck. Fucking Blazers. Oh, here we go. Tables. Get the tables. Oh, man. And yeah, I feel your pain, dude. But like I said, once you go from the pop era and, with all the greats and then this, you're trying to, it's really tough to probably for Spurs fans to be so consistently good playoffs for 20 years in a row. And then now you have the team that you have. 2 hour every Saturday night. Awesome, bro. That's cool that you dedicate some time to that and whatnot. Everyone's got interests. Some people like country. Some people like rap. Some people like rock. Some people like, opera. Some people like jazz. Everyone's got their own kind of thing that they like. He says, yeah, buh. We ran out of gas back to back. Buh. Thank God that we had something good that was on tonight. I just can't put up with such bad games, bad wrestling. It didn't affect me as much back in the day, but I just think now with just everything that's going on in the world. I mean, we need to have good entertainment to help us forget about all the anxiety, depression, and all the bullshit COVID and all the bullshit in our life. You know what I mean? It's like I need good things in my life. I don't need, like I'm trying to be able to get away from reality and then I watch a bunch of shitty wrestling for 3 hours. So thank God it's been good tonight. Oh, GG into the table. Come on, Roxanne. Let's go. 1, 2. You already knew that was going to happen. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. I love it. It's like you don't got to be blonde and look like a supermodel to run NXT. Nice job, Roxanne. Love it. She's cute too. Kind of reminds me like an undersized, kind of like an Alexa Bliss. You can be still very short, but you can still make an impact. They both have that fire. I'm getting my buddy to turn on the NXT. He just watched the Blazers lose again, like we always do. But at least I'm being honest, and I'm trying to commit, to watching. You know what I'm saying? Even like I was hoping it was going to be a little bit better, but I mean, it does at least give me other content to do, and then that gives me more of a reason to do other NBA games. And as long as the matchup is good, I don't mind doing NBA. But if it's just like any random teams, no, I'm not going to do that. And then we're going to get close to March Madness. And even though I don't like regular season, college basketball, but I think like Duke and North Carolina played today. I saw that one of the members from FTR, like North Carolina, is like Tar Heels. It was Dax Harwood and his daughter and his wife and whatnot. And usually that matchup is good. But when March Madness rolls around, I won't be able to do this stuff in the morning because obviously, the girlfriend will be in here working. But as soon as she's off, like, those 5 p.m. games until like nighttime. Yeah, I'm going to definitely do some of the March Madness games, and they're going to be fun, man. Anybody can beat anyone in March Madness, so. Oh, I can hit all the gritties, baby. Yeah, trust me. A lot of. Were you guys on a back-to-back? A lot of times on a back-to-back, it's hard to be able to do anything. Now we got Mavericks and Warriors. What else is on? Let me see who's still playing. Mavericks and Warriors is a hell of a matchup. Let me look. I'm going to that. Third quarter. Oh, good. It's still on. Okay, cool. So now I can watch the main event, and then I can watch Luka. Is Luka playing? And then we got the Warriors and Steph. I hope Luka's playing. Luka, are you there? Luka? Hello? 99 to 85. Maybe Luka's not playing. If they're only at fucking 85, maybe he's not playing. Fuck. Now I got to go look at the board. 99-86. Warriors are fun to watch. I mean, even if their record are first in the West or they're 10th in the West, I mean, as long as I can get Clay and I can get Steph and some Draymond, I mean, of course, you want, Kuminga and some of those other guys that they got, Jordan Poole, they're going to do some damage, and sometimes they play like shit, and sometimes they play great. And they obviously are underwhelming after winning the championship last year, 102-86. I don't think Luka is playing. Luka's hurt. Fuck, of course he is. Of course he is. No wonder they can't keep up. Well, I figured he was because last game I saw he didn't play, so I was thinking, well, maybe is he playing? And of course he's not. And speaking of getting hurt, now they're just showing Steph limp to the bench. Well, maybe that was a bad decision to turn that one on. We got Nuggets and Hawks, UFC Fight Night. Heat and the Bucks. Ooh, that's kind of decent. Let me look on that one. Let's go here. No, that one ended. Now I just got to go to ESPN and see actually what fucking games are active. Yeah, Jim Carrey has a good ones. I mean, I usually, have a few good Jim Carrey ones. All right, my boy's like, I told him the cage match is coming on. Sick. All right. I mean, I try to get him. I mean, he doesn't watch as much. I mean, he does watch WWE a lot, and he won't really give AEW a chance, even if I tell him, like, it's, oh, the fucking tables were on fire and, they were doing power bombs off the cage. He still won't watch. Like, I could say anything, and he'd be like, nope, I get it. Some people are just fucking loyal to their brand, but I feel if you're a real fan of wrestling, you'll watch anything. It's not just WWE and the memories that we had as a kid in WWF. I mean, I can't even imagine if I never watched RVD and Sabu, what my life would be like right now, or seeing, everything in the NWO and how WCW did their product. Like, it definitely made me more well-rounded as a wrestling fan altogether, seeing all the different federations. And then on top of like ROH and NJPW, and most people don't even do those anymore, or Impact. Like, those are like foreign. Most people don't even give those time. They'll give those federations here a time of day, really. So, yeah. Yeah. But a lot of times, you think you have depression, but you really don't. Like, it's like, you just don't feel good, or you're bored, you know what I mean? Or you just feel a little low, you know what I mean? But sometimes your brain is tricking you that things are a lot worse, so you just got to be able to like do things to trigger better thoughts. Like, instead of being in the dark, make sure all the lights are on in the house, make sure that, you're getting the right meals. Make sure you're getting outside. Obviously, in your case, Megan, if you got a broken toe, you can't be walking around and getting some fresh air because your toe's broken. So I get it. But at least opening the windows and getting some fresh air in. And, you want to make sure that you're doing the little things to be able to not go down that path. And there's a lot of times you can prevent. Sometimes the depression comes and, it's like anxiety. You can't make up your mind on what you want to do. With depression, nothing seems fun. Nothing, even little things can't get you excited. But a lot of times you can be your own worst enemy, if you don't have the right support, or if you're not holding yourself accountable. You got to have a checklist, and you got to make sure you keep yourself in a routine. And if you don't keep yourself in a fucking routine, you're going to go be in the gutter. Trust me, I've been there and I know that. So, that's one thing that I would recommend too, is just keeping busy. And like I said, and making good choices. Everyone has choices that they're going to make, what they're going to eat, what they're going to put into their body, if you're going to booze it up or if you're not. And sometimes, it seems like, doing the booze thing or whatever might be the, thing that you want to do. But a lot of times that's not going to help you. It might help you temporarily forget about things, for a few hours or that night. But just got to hold yourself accountable and just put yourself in a position to win. Facts. There you go. Little things. Can't go outside, but let the air come in. I always have the air in the household. It helps. Like, because if you just have, just like the old stale air, you know what I mean? It's just nice to be able to get that coolness on your arms and your face, and, just to be able to, have maybe a cup of coffee, like in the morning. Sometimes having coffee in the middle of the day or at night. I mean, it just depends if you're a night owl, but certain things can definitely help the mood. And just like I said, whatever it is, projects, puzzles, cards, just finding a hobby or something to keep your mind, at ease, especially if you're a collector. I mean, a lot of times if you feel like you're going down a bad path, fucking hop on eBay, start looking up stuff of your favorite people, guaranteed you're going to be in a good mood for an hour or two. I mean, I've never had a bad time of looking at shit that I can't afford or shit that I want to buy. And sometimes maybe if I have money, but it's always trying to be able to look up, your favorite players or your favorite team stuff. That never gets boring to me. You know what I mean? I know some people go on like Amazon and then they go crazy with the Amazon purchases, but eBay's a little bit better because that way you're not spending the money. You're kind of evaluating before you buy. So. All right, I bet. Well, it's like summertime there, right? You don't have to have it open a lot, but like I said, just having a little bit of breeze in. Usually it's about 10 or 15 minutes for me. So I'll do like 10 or 15 minutes, maybe in the morning. Sometimes I'll leave the window cracked at night just for a little bit, depending on how cold it is outside. Right now it's like usually like 20, 30 degrees, or if it's like in the middle of the day, I have the puppy here. So I usually have the back door open. Sometimes if it's too cold, then I'm like, I can't have it open too long, but I just know that being outside is big for me. And like I said, it's sometimes just thinking, oh my gosh, I have to walk for an hour today, right? I got to walk for an hour, but I know Paisley needs it. And if she needs it, I need it. It's good for my mental health. And 2 birds, 1 stone. I get music for an hour. I get my Paisley time for an hour. And I get my exercise. And she's loving life, ripping my arm out of the socket when she sees a squirrel, or when I have to defend her when I see another dog and make sure that, the other dog doesn't get too close, picking up her poo, all the great things that happen when you're a dad that is a doggo dad. All right, here we go. Braun Breaker, baby. Main event, last match. If you're a collector, that's one thing, that can always bring a little bit of joy and light. Like I've been collecting since 85. I'm 40. You know what I mean? But I love to do it. I haven't been able to do it as much, but I've accumulated so many things that sometimes it's just nice to be able to open up a box in a closet or storage. And sometimes I'll do that after the show, where I'll just randomly go in there and I'll grab a box, and I don't label any of my stuff. So, and eventually I'll end up hiding some of my stuff in like a scavenger hunt. Some stuff will go to Justin, like the Blazer stuff, but I will, it's just cool to be able to look at some of the things that you've collected over the last, 10, 20, 30 years. And a lot of my stuff is like action figure type stuff. So it's very cool. Like it's very hard to be like, oh, look at this action figure. That's stupid. No, said no one ever. I like cards and I like magazines and that memorabilia, but I think besides sports cards, action figures and starting lineups, McFarlane's, bobbleheads, action figure type stuff, that's my thing. All right, here we go. Main event, Braun Breaker versus Grayson Waller. I like Braun Breaker's look because he looks just like a Scott Steiner or a Rick Steiner. You know what I mean? Obviously, we have, Rick, he's got the more shorter hair. You know what I mean? But he's got the Rick Steiner kind of look. And then Scott used to have dark hair before he turned into Big Papa Pump. And he had kind of the wild hair, but you definitely could see the genes there. Steiner family, baby. Yeah, and that's another thing to do too. I do that. I got like, a little shelf. I used to have stuff like in the kitchen with a bunch of moving boxes, and that wasn't appreciated, but I like to be able to have my stuff close to me. That makes me feel good. People that don't understand what it's like to be a collector have no idea. You know what I mean? But sometimes rotating new stuff on the shelf and having yourself, with a new thing in front of you, in front of your computer desk, it helps, just redirect, you don't have to like redecorate like a bedroom where you're moving the bed on this wall and moving the posters over here. But sometimes little subtle things like finding a new figure and just replacing another one. Like, I got LaMichael, I got Marcus Mariota, I got Griffey, I got Hollywood Hogan, I got Randy Johnson, I got another Griffey, I got a Dan Wilson, another Randy Johnson. I mean, you just want to be surrounded around the stuff that you enjoy, and sometimes it's good to be able to rotate some of that stuff out. I try to be. I mean, because no one else will walk her. My girlfriend's daughter won't walk her. My girlfriend, if the weather is good, maybe we'll walk. But, I mean, I'm the only one in the house that puts other people first before them, myself. So I just have to be the one, that makes sure that she's fed, that she's cleaned up, she's warm, and that she's getting the proper exercise and the proper love. And, I don't want to have her feel neglected ever. You know what I mean? And if that means that I have to sacrifice spending time with other people here in Oregon, well, so be it, because she's more important. So, woo, Braun. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, some people love them. I don't own any. I'm not really a Funko person, but I can see why people love them. The collectability, for them is through the roof because there's so many to collect, and there's variations like McFarlane's, rare versions, gold versions, autograph versions, different chase figures that are like, this outfit or this outfit. Like, so I totally understand why people love them, and obviously it's kind of a Northwest thing. They're just based out, around here as well. Through the Northwest. Ooh, nice DDT there. Yeah, I haven't. I think I've seen some, but I haven't really looked into a lot of the NASCAR. I mean, I got old NASCAR figures like McFarlane's from like when they first came out in like 2001 of like Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart. So I got some of those early McFarlane NASCAR figures, and those are super dope. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them or if any of the people that are in the room are into that, but I've shown a few of them. I got some really cool Dale Earnhardt ones, and usually it would come with like the figure and like the winner's circle pedestal, and then you could put it on and everything. But almost all of my NASCAR ones, every one is in the package. I've never opened one out of the package. So that is a good question. Probably the night before, probably like the Friday night or the Saturday night before the Super Bowl. Because I got to see if there's any injuries. I need to be able to look at the depth of the roster. I mean, I kind of already have an idea, what's going to happen. But, I mean, the Eagles should be the favorite. I mean, that's no doubt. It's, the Chiefs are not as balanced on offense and defense. O-line, running game, and the defense is a liability for the Chiefs. But if they play as good as they did on defense like they did against the Bengals, they will have a shot at the end of the game to kick like a game-winning field goal to maybe, tie it or to possibly take the lead. But if they don't have like a 3 to 5 sack lunch game and 1 or 2 picks on Jalen, it's over. And I think everyone knows it. You know what I mean? Like Jalen's like 16-1 in 17 games. I mean, they just have so much depth, and it definitely reminds you of the 2017 team. So it's not impossible for the Chiefs to win, but they're going to have like one of their best games of the year, and they got to pray their defense plays like a 10, like they did against Cincinnati. And if they don't, I find it really difficult to think that they can beat the Eagles in 4 quarters. But we got to be able to, see. But again, a lot of people didn't think the Chiefs would play as good as they did against the Bengals, and look what happened, because you already got Mahomes and you got Kelsey and Andy Reid and Bieniemy, and that'll help prevent a lot of the, getting exposed on the line and the running game, because I think the line and the running game will struggle, the O-line and the running game for the Chiefs. But, if you can be creative with the play calling, maybe that'll help a little bit. But ultimately, the defense has to show up for Kansas City or it's going to be ugly. I think everyone kind of sees that, because Cincinnati's defense is better than Kansas City's, but Kansas City at times can play like a 9 or a 10 against the Bengals, but a lot of the time they play like maybe like a 7, where there's some good plays, but they get fucking torched in the secondary and they don't get enough pass rush besides Chris Jones. Like, I need Chris Jones, Frank Clark, George Karlaftis in the secondary to be able to make plays, and they don't really do it consistently. So that's why there's a little bit of concern there. And I think that's honest, just, honest, no bias, just what I see is what you get. So. Yeah, I'll let you know if I decide to get any of those. There's probably some other things, but I mean, like I said, I'm struggling right now just to be able to make ends meet, with streaming and whatnot. So I don't really have an opportunity to buy anything for myself, but Yeah, but maybe one day. It's been pretty rough the last 3 months, but if things get picked up a little bit better, then we'll be able to give some more gifts out for some of y'all, and then maybe I'll be able to treat myself. But I typically don't treat myself to that much. I'd rather get something for you guys. Two totally different teams, two totally different scenarios. In this 2017 era, you guys were the underdog, like the true underdog, and you guys had a very, very complete team. I feel the teams are very similar based off depth, and being very, very complete. And obviously having Nick Foles over Carson Wentz and still being able to win. And it shows you it's the ultimate team game, but it's O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, and play calling. And maybe you want to argue coaching and play calling could possibly favor the Chiefs, but the Eagles check off almost every other box, except for maybe quarterback with Mahomes being better. But if you're looking at overall, just the offense, the defense, the special teams, the depth, the rotational guys that can come in, like the Robert Quinns and the Ndamukong Suhs. I mean, there's a huge difference with talent and player for player. It's like I think on the Chief defense, they have maybe 4 or 5 guys out of 11 that can step up. On the Eagle defense, they got like 8 or 9. So once you have a team that usually has 8 or 9, that's exactly how Tampa was when we won and when the Rams won. When you have more than just 1 or 2 guys that can make plays, it's like 8 out of the 11. It's a huge advantage because most defenses only have 2 to 4 out of 11 that are like impact guys. But once you start getting those mid-level guys to get better and they feed off the guys that are around them, then you get guys that are normally average, but they turn into good players because they feed off the energy off the big play Slays, the Fletcher Coxes, and those kind of guys. So, like I said, Kansas City has got a lot of pressure, to be able to, have some kind of balance in running game. I'm not sure if they will or not. And then the defense, they have to play the best game of their season like they did against Cincinnati, or they're not going to win. I think that's pretty clear. So, and that's not me being biased. That's just me, just not exposing the Chiefs' weaknesses, but I just think that's the truth. And I think Chiefs fans know that too. We need to play great on the defense. We need to find a way to run the ball. They don't know how, and I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but I think it's pretty clear. I mean, if anyone thinks that the Eagles are a garbage team, they obviously are just haters and they haven't watched them all year. I mean, it's been the most complete team from the beginning of the season. Very clear. But also, that doesn't mean that Kansas City doesn't have a shot. If you have Mahomes or Burrow, you always are going to have a shot in the Super Bowl. Because, all you got to do is keep it close and then have that one little drive in the fourth quarter, where you maybe can tie it or catch up if you've been getting your ass kicked. And we know that we've seen the, Magic Mahomes and, Burrow do special things. Ooh, big elbow drop from Grayson Waller. 2. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that right now, but I will let you know, if it is something. But thank you, though. Wow, nice hang time there. I mean, I'm always looking at all the factors, like I said, I don't look at just at quarterback or running back, wide receiver, tight end. And usually, my main rule and the reason why I haven't got a Super Bowl winner wrong in like 22 years, I should start betting on these things. I'd be fucking like a millionaire by now. You know what I mean? But, and sometimes I can even get it like right on, just like with the Eagles Super Bowl in 2017. I said they were going to win big by like 9 or 10 and they did. I'm not going to get that specific correct all the time, but, it's going to take a special performance. Now, like if Honey Badger was still there and Tyreek was there, then the gap would be closed. Like if Honey Badger was still same Honey Badger back there and Tyreek was there, then, instead of everyone, kind of more leaning towards the Eagles and knowing that the Chiefs can win, but it's going to be a big task, it would be a little bit more of a fairer fight because you have a little bit more explosiveness on offense with Tyreek and then have a little bit more stability on the back end with, Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, but those guys aren't there anymore. So. Oh, they'll probably be there with you guys almost every year. And if it's not the two of you, it'll be the Bills or someone else. I mean, it's pretty clear, how dominant the AFC is with their top tier teams with their quarterbacks. So. Braun's got the size. He's got the look. Still needs to improve the mic skills, but he's the best thing that NXT has gotten cooking in a long time. They usually don't have guys that are like powerhouse guys that look like they could be world champ or IC. A lot of the guys on NXT, when they come up, they're kind of little guys. They're like little guys like Adam Cole Bebe, or, you know, they're talented, but a lot of the guys are more like mid-level or smaller guys. This is the first time, I think, in a while where we've seen a guy that could be a heavyweight champion sooner than later, you know, and you can't really say that about too many guys that are an NXT champ and then they cross over. But I think the fans on Raw and SmackDown would be totally, and a lot of them are smart too, that they know that this is a Steiner. This is, you know, someone that's related to Scott and Rick. You know what I mean? That's part of the family. So if you're a fan of Rick Steiner or Scott Steiner, you probably like Braun Breaker. So, I mean, I'm a fan. I mean, the Steiners were awesome back in the day. And then you had the NWO, and I had a lot of memories watching those guys and the evolution, you know, of Scott Steiner and turning into Big Papa Pump and whatnot. So. But really, it's going to come down to O-line, D-line. Who's going to be able to, you know, control that? And Philadelphia might have an edge on both, on the O-line and the D-line. It just depends if Kansas City can step up, you know, because sometimes their D-line can match the Eagles' D-line, no question. Like Hassan Reddick, Chris Jones, those guys are great. You know what I mean? But what about the others in the supporting cast? That'll be the difference. And defense is definitely leaning the Eagles, you know, and coaching, you could lean maybe for the Chiefs. But it's not like the Eagles' coaching staff is bad this year. They've been actually very good. I just hope it ends up being a close game and a good game. That's what I hope for. Is he going to go to the top? Here we go. Go to the top, baby. Let me see an elbow drop, baby. Jump off, dude. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, shizzle. Boom. Superplex. His face. Oh, baby. Yeah, if Juju plays, better chance, you know what I mean? But just because if Juju doesn't play, that doesn't mean that it's over. I mean, the Chiefs give the football to more people on the team than anyone. You know, you never know. It could be, you know, like a Justin Watson. It could be a Noah Gray. You know, after Tyreek left, you never know where the hell the ball is going to go. And they got like 10 guys that are capable. So that's one thing that the Chiefs got going for them. But the offensive line needs to give Mahomes time to be able to go through those, you know, progressions and those options, especially if the running game is going to be non-existent. So I don't know. They're going to have to play the game of their life. I just don't know if McKinnon and Pacheco and Rojo are going to be able to get through that defense. They didn't play very good against Cincinnati, but also Cincinnati's running backs did not play very good against Kansas City in that game. Mixon and P-Ryan normally dominate anybody. And so that was a little bit of an eye-opener where both running backs, you know, squads, Bengals and Chiefs played like shit. So sometimes it's hard to run. Oh, damn, big fucking spear. Oh, I know. I know there's a purpose to every comment. I read between the lines. That is true. That is one thing that you do have. Great tight end depth. And a lot of the younger guys are starting to step up. 3rd round, 4th round, 6th round, 7th round guys on defense. You know, some of those no-name guys getting those tipped interceptions. You're going to need that to happen for you to be able to have a chance at the end of the game. You know, because if the defense plays great, you know, Mahomes will be able to put you in a position to either tie or maybe win with Butker. But if the defense is lacking, you know, and you're getting pushed around on both sides of the ball, it could end up being a really, really long night. I mean, NFC teams have won the last 2 Super Bowls, and they've had the complete team. And if you really compare the Eagles, the Bucks, and the Rams, that you're almost looking at the same type of team. very dominant on both sides of the ball. And if you don't bring your A game, it's you could maybe lose by 3 or 4, but no one goes in the Super Bowl saying, "Oh, I hope we lose by 3." You want to win. So, boom, big spear by Braun Breaker. Motherfucker flew back like 2 feet. Okay. Nice job, Braun. Don't fall down. Nice job, Braun. Nice. All right, that's the end of the pay-per-view. Fucking A, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. All right, now let's see what else is on. All right, well, we got Family Guy, Planet Earth. Ooh, I love me some Planet Earth. David Attenborough is a fucking great. Oh, they got Primates. What the fuck do we got on here? Yeah, I could spend time watching Planet Earth 1, 2, any of those. I mean, yeah, game over. Mavericks and Warriors. Is it still going? John Wick, Chapter 3, Wonder Woman, Furious 7, Indiana Jones. Ooh, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Some old school stuff like that. Love 80s stuff. College basketball. What is it? North Carolina Duke was on earlier. Gonzaga, St. Mary's. Cornhole. Everyone get on the TV because Cornhole, the USA National Junior Championships of Cornhole is on. But it's old. It's from August. Not even new. Come on, ESPN News. If you're going to give me Cornhole, you got to give me the Cornhole Championship, the new one. All-time games. What's the baseball? Cardinals and Tigers from 68? Yes, please. Hold on. Cardinals and the Tigers from 6. Oh, my God. It's like black and white. This is beautiful. Oh, okay. I guess that's what I'm watching for a little bit. Of course I have. I need to play the video game, but yeah, I've watched that and it is incredible. So good. I mean, I've always been a fan of like zombie stuff, Walking Dead, and then the video game crossover stuff, like, Resident Evil came out, and, there's always going to be people that are going to complain that, movie crossover, TV show crossover, video game crossover stinks. But that one got the most views and minutes watched, out of like a new program besides the Game of Thrones spinoff. Those have been the two that have gotten the most, excluding Stranger Things. And obviously we know how big Stranger Things is and how big it's going to be. Like when Stranger Things comes out in a couple years and they finish that last season, that's going to be the biggest thing on planet Earth. Like everyone on and their mama is going to be watching that. It's going to be incredible. But yes, I have started watching it. I think they're 3 episodes in, and I fucking love it, dude. It's so good. Pascal, I mean, he does the Mandalorian. I mean, everything that Pedro Pascal is in, I mean, he kills it. I love his voice in the Mandalorian. He does a great job with Grogu and makes the Mandalorian. Like they literally picked the perfect person for that role. And that's going to be coming out. And then, yeah, I mean, everything is so good in the show. And it's also crazy too with the last episode, the old boy from The Office. I don't think I've ever seen him in a gay role before. Maybe he's done other like gay role type stuff, but when they had the episode there and then, they had the guy, he fell into the booby trap, and I was watching, I was like, maybe he thinks that's going to be like the last time he's going to have like physical contact with a man or a woman at that point. And so it showed kind of their little love story and obviously living together for, like 20 years from the beginning of the kind of the collapse of the world and, the end of the world, it was like 2003 and, that time period that happened. But that show is so well put together. Sad that obviously with the daughter in the first episode what happens to her and whatnot. But when you watch the video game footage compared to the footage in the show, it's PS5 and their developers are so fucking good. It makes me want to get a PS5 or Xbox and play like that, or Red Dead Redemption or Red Dead Redemption 2, where I can travel. And, it kind of reminds me of like a Zelda back in the day, but hella graphics are better and you can just kind of, explore. That's my wheelhouse. I mean, I could spend 5-10 hours. It would be really cool one day if I can end up doing like a gaming side channel, where we could do that. I would love to do like the old school stuff like Atari or Nintendo or Sega or Super Nintendo and whatnot. But but some of that new stuff, it looks so cool, man. I get a little jealous because I just don't have time to play and whatnot. But anytime I see stuff, on my timeline, I'm like, oh man, it looks so good. Looks so good. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, not from The Office, but Parks and Rec. That's what I meant. But yeah, very good, very well done too. Well, I mean, the pay-per-view is over. I'm going to be doing NASCAR tomorrow. I mean, at this point, we could always, keep it moving for a little bit longer, but I feel maybe this would be a good time just to kind of say goodbye. I mean, we ended up doing the pay-per-view. It's good. I mean, of course, I could go for another 20 minutes or 50 minutes, but I want to make sure Paisley, no one's home right now. It's just me. So I hate to leave her alone for 4 or 5 hours, and I want to make sure that I can at least snug with her and give her some treats, and maybe we'll go for a walk. And I still got like laundry and other stuff to do. So I want to make sure that we had a good amount of people come in. We got blessed with some great donos today to make up for, 2 out of the last 3 days that we've had. Thank God. And then we got NASCAR tomorrow, and I'll be live for a Clash at the Coliseum where USC Trojans play their football. That's where the first race of NASCAR is going to be done tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So you bet your ass I'll be there. I'm not sure if I'm going to have Johnny make the thumb for me, or I'll just make my own. I'll probably just make my own for this one, and then maybe I'll pay him for a Daytona 500 one in like 2 weeks or something. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. No worries about that, Megan. But Jameson, Megan, Sarah, everyone in the building, Odin's son, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you for spending time with me. And this pay-per-view is sweet. Like, I mean, I could have did the Senior Bowl, and I would have felt like so silly knowing that this was available. But I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. It was awesome. So again, we could definitely go for another 20 or 50, but I think this is when you have a good night, sometimes it's just good to, just end it. We'll be back tomorrow, and I'll spend some more time with Paisley. Now, if people were here, yeah, I definitely would go for another 50 minutes or an hour and a half, but I just don't want to be able to keep her waiting. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. You guys are the best. And again, thank you so much for everyone that donated, everyone that supported. You guys are the best. I love you and I appreciate you. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. I love you and I appreciate you. And I'll be back very, very soon. Gang.